into round 17 and we are live. Hey guys, how you going? So I'm BKRsport. We are live as the Parramatta Eels. The Parramatta Eels will be taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs here in a very, very big game for different contextual reasons. The Rabbitohs, they obviously sit right on the edge of the 8, inside the 8, but right on the edge of it. And the Eels, obviously, right now, they're trying to avoid potentially going into the bottom 3 by tomorrow. And even potentially, they could be going into second last by the end of the round with the Raiders playing the Dragons and also the Titans playing the Bulldogs. And look, if you lose this game here, if the Eels lose this with their 5 wins and 9 losses, a season is just simply is too much. It's just simply gone for you. There is the slightest of slight chances that if you win this game, and then a team like the Rabbitohs lost obviously to the Eels today, that actually is a great timing. If the Eels win this, they would only be 2 wins. No, sorry, they'd only be 1 win short of the South Sydney Rabbitohs there. They'd be on 6 wins and the Rabbitohs would be on 7. So it's a great matchup timing for the Eels because this is a must win here to prevent the Rabbitohs getting away from them, who are the quite literal, the lowest team when it comes to the top 8 because the Sharks are there, but they're going to have a bye and they've also got 1 extra win than the Rabbitohs as well. So this is do or die right now for Parramatta. It just simply is do or die. It's not necessarily do or die for the Rabbitohs. And also, look, if you're a Sharks, Manly, even Newcastle, definitely Cowboys, Tigers, Storm, Bulldogs, to a lesser extent Broncos, these teams should be begging that Parramatta wins here today because you should be thinking above, not below. Who cares if a team jumps you briefly, like the Parramatta Eels? So, for example, the Eels with a win here today, they would jump above the Broncos. They wouldn't necessarily jump above the Bulldogs or anything like that, but they'd be equal with them. But at the end of the day, who gives a shit about that? You've got to really care about the fact that you believe that you're going to be making the finals. You've got to care about the fact that you believe that you can chase down on teams like the Rabbitohs on the edge, the Sharks on the edge, even Manly on the edge there now as well, in 6th position after their loss last week to the Canterbury Bulldogs. They come back into the equation there just outside the 8. So look, if you are one of those teams I just mentioned, you really, really have to be kind of going for the Eels here. And even so much to say Titans and Raiders, but like their seasons are essentially done. As a Titans fan, I can put my hand up and say, look, the Titans aren't going to be making the 8 this year, but I want to use the rest of this year as a motivational push and get some good results into us going into 2027, right? But this is do or die for the Eels. And for the Rabbitohs, if you lose this, well, you're probably not going to be out of the 8 this week, but you will be pretty much out of it by next week. Actually, who do you quickly play next week? I know we're about to get into the 2-team lineups and all the games this round, but who do the Rabbitohs play next week? The Panthers. Yep, you're probably out of the 8 by next week. You lose this. Yep, you're probably out. Even though the Titans beat the Panthers last week, I tell you what, you don't want to have to be hoping on a result against the Penrith Panthers for the most part, right? Because that's not going to happen too much. It's only happened twice this season so far, and randomly enough, it was two teams that are down the bottom of the table, and the Titans and the Bulldogs. But guys, let's get into it. So we're going to go through all the games this round. Then we'll get into the 2-team lineups for this one, the ladder, and then we'll see what you're saying in the chat. So obviously hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new around here, and don't forget tomorrow, Australia play Paraguay in a very, very important match. We just need a draw at a minimum. We actually haven't lost ever to Paraguay in 5 games. We've had, I think, 3 draws and 2 wins against them. So Australia have a pretty good record against Paraguay. It's going to go off here on the channel. We're going to have a great time. So definitely be here for Australia versus Paraguay tomorrow, and I'll probably be live for Japan versus Sweden as well. I'm actually in Da Nang now in Vietnam, so I'm not in Nha Trang anymore, and I'm off to, I actually might be going through South Korea on my way to Kazakhstan in about 3 weeks time. So we're moving and grooving. Hopefully the internet is great here. I always have the first stream is always a bit of a worry because I always get nervous that this new place may not have great internet or power cuts and all that type of stuff, which has happened throughout my travels, but he's hoping that everything stays sweet. But all right, let's get into the games this weekend. So the first game here, Eels and Rabbitohs. Big one here for the Rabbitohs. Massive to keep themselves established in that top 8, whilst the Eels, they're in do or die season, man. Just simply do or die season. We got it tomorrow. Massive one. Gold Coast Titans versus the Bulldogs. It's massive one because I'm a Titans fan, and obviously we go pretty crazy here on the channel. And these are the only 2 teams that have beaten the Panthers so far this season. This is at Seabus Super Stadium, and look, I'm excited for it. I think that obviously the Bulldogs don't really score much, and the Titans, their defense has gone to new levels midway through 2026, and also at the beginning part, they weren't giving up too many points besides maybe the Sharkies game. But, overall, I'm really excited about that one tomorrow. And then we've got Broncos versus the Roosters, where the Roosters, geez, look, you're up there in fourth. You are still on fraud alert, but it was a good win against the Sharks. But the Sharks, oh, wow, geez, I just realised the Rabbitohs are on scam. No, Sharks. Don't you for a second think you'd be coming off the old scam, Sharky Sharks? What do you think you're doing, eh? Trying to sneak away from scam put on the Rabbitohs. No, you, Cronulla, you are on scam. Buddy scamming, buddy dogs. I tell you what. Look, the Broncos Roosters game tomorrow. Broncos, they're in do or die season for them, in my opinion. There's even word that if they lose that game, that the Rabbitohs will come knocking for Payne Haas on a mid-season switch before the June 30 deadline. I don't think there's a Buckley's chance of that happening, but with that being said, that is the talk of the town right now. And the Roosters, they just need to keep on winning to keep putting themselves back up there in that top four and really establish themselves, because there's a massive game between these two guys this week, and the Warriors and the Dolphins. And yeah, the Roosters, they've got a chance to really start to push back up into it after some massive fraudulent weeks. And then we go to Saturday, where I can't believe this is the early game, but it's the Dolphins versus the Warriors in the 3 p.m. time slot on a Saturday. Geez, that is just absolutely massive. Now, that's a good time slot for New Zealand at 5 p.m., but still, this is usually the throwaway game. It's usually the game midday on a Saturday where you're just like, okay, whatever, they chuck a Titans, or they'll chuck a Dragons, or they'll chuck a Newcastle Knights, Cowboys kind of teams that won't pull in a massive amount of viewing, right? So that's why it's really, really frustrating that this one here is the 3 p.m. game on Saturday. But this is a belter. Third versus second, both teams just in form. The Warriors obviously had to slip up against the Panthers, but at the end of the day, so did the Dolphins. It's going to be a big-time game there at Suncorp Stadium. You're definitely not going to want to miss that one. Then we've got the Cowboys versus the Panthers. The Cowboys have been on an ultimo slip recently. They've been just absolutely falling off the planet of the earth. But then again, I kept saying this is probably what's going to happen with North Queensland as they do look to kind of equalise themselves in this competition. The comp will equal itself out. It has. They lost 38-20 to the Warriors last week, but this is a very, very important game for the Cowboys. They lose that, then the top 8 is going to just grow away from them, especially with the Sharkies obviously having a bye this week, and the Rabbitohs, if they can win here. Manly have a tough one against the Storm, though. That's going to be huge. But Cowboys versus Panthers, I wouldn't want to be playing the Panthers right now after losing last week to the Gold Coast Titans in excruciating fashion with a field goal in the last 20 seconds of the game. Zane Harrison, he's your GOAT. But the Panthers, they need to win that one just to kind of put themselves back into the right momentum. They're going to have Nathan Cleary, Isaiah and Brian Tuttle back in. I just really fear for the Cowboys in this game. I fear for them, because that is not the game you want to be having right now as you're fighting for that top 8. The midway game on Saturday, the last game on Saturday is Manly versus the Storm. This is a massive game, man. This is just a gigantic game. Manly are a little bit on the slide there after last week. They're down there in 6th now. The Storm, they're on the up. Their form is absolutely rocketing. They're up there in 11th position, but they've also got the same amount of wins as the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So say the Rabbitohs lost here today to the Eels, and then the Storm beat Manly on Saturday. Well, the Storm have actually got more wins, and they are technically in the 8. Well, right now, technically, the Cowboys are, but the Storm do have a points differential of plus 20. They've only had the one bye. They just need the Cowboys to slip up, and if the Cowboys slip up against the Panthers, the Storm will be above them points differential-wise. I'm telling you, the Storm right now believe they're going to make the 8. And it would take a really ballsy person to say the Storm can't make the 8 from here. It would take a lot of balls to suggest that the Storm don't have what it takes. If they lose that game to Manly, then the Warriors will come back that, it was a good period here under desperation, but then they still found a way to slip up against a Manly team that the Bulldogs didn't beat last week. I actually think the Storm win that game, but that's going to be an absolute bone rattler at 4 Pines Park at Brookie Oval in Sydney on Saturday night. And then we got Sunday games, Raiders versus the Dragons. Look, I'm not exactly a great deal excited about this one. It is 16th versus 17th right now. As a Titans fan, I would like hopefully the Titans beat the Bulldogs and it wouldn't even matter. But if the Dragons can go and beat the Raiders, I think that well, look, if the Titans lose this week and the Dragons win this week, then I guess there's still a chance of them avoiding that spoon, but it's just so unlikely, man. They're 3 wins behind the Titans right now, the Dragons, and their points differential is about 155 points differential worse, so it's essentially 4 games. I just don't know if the Dragons have that in them, but it's very important for them if they want to try and keep their avoiding the spoon alive. Otherwise, it's pretty much just guaranteed this week. And then the Raiders, look, their season's done, but at the end of the day, they want to still pump a score past this Dragons team to get a bit of confidence about them. And the final game of the round will be the Newcastle Knights taking on the West Tigers. And that's an intriguing one. For many years, this was actually the battle of the spoon. Now the Knights are up there in 5th position. Definitely looking shaky on the defense and get through with flying colours against the Dragons last week. But the Newcastle Knights, they should be up for this one. But the Tigers, they need to be up for this one. They're in 10th position. Their points differential is just simply not good right now. The points differential of the Tigers is in minus 84. And if they lose and the Storm win, then the Storm will go above them. The Bulldogs, if they beat the Titans, they could go above them. The Tigers could be dropping down into 12th position there. That's as low as they can go. But this is really a must-win here for the Tigers because the Knights are a very beatable outfit. Sorry, Knights fans, but the Knights are a very beatable outfit. So are the Tigers, for the benefit of the Knights fans there. But the Knights have to come in here to McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle and just get a win. They really do. Otherwise, the slip and slide is going to be well and truly on. And then obviously the bye this round is the Cronulla Sharkies who, geez, I'm grateful that we don't have to watch them this week because they are on scam. And if any Sharks fan tries to tell me you're not on scam, you wisher. You're the biggest wisher that ever did wish. Like if we looked at the biggest wishes of all time, you Sharkies fans would be at the number one, up top. Actually, so far above that you can see the legs of the Sharks dangling from first position. That is how high the Sharkies are on the scam list right now. Gee whiz, the wishes. But I tell you what, it should be a good round. There is actually quite a few good games. Now let's get into this Eels versus Rabbitohs game. I'll look through the two team lineups. The Eels are in 14th. The Rabbitohs are in 7th. This is at CommBank Stadium in Sydney. The ins here for the Eels, Mitchell Moses, massive in with the out being Apa Twiddle. The fullback is Isaiah Yongi with the wingers being Brian Kelly and Josh Adokar, centres of Jordan Samrani and Sean Russell. The 5'8" is Ronald Volkman with the halfback being Mitchell Moses, who is the captain. Front row forwards are Jack Williams and Sam Tuivaiti, and the number 9 is Harrison Edwards. The back row, Kelma Tuolangi and Kitiona Katonga, and the 13 is Jack DeBellin. And then the interchange is Talon Da Silva, Luca Moretti, Dylan Walker, Tinkum Brown, Joash Papali. I always get confused between these two names because you've got Josh Papali'i and then Joash Papali, Joash Papali, and then you've also got Isaiah Papali'i as well. So you get a little bit confused there. But overall, then Jason Rowles, the coach. Overall, this Eels team this year, it's not been good. Their defense is the second worst defense in the comp, only to the Dragons. They've given up 433 points so far this year. Their points differential is the second worst in the competition, only in front of the Dragons with a minus 149. Their 284 points scored is the 4th worst attack. So you've got the Broncos on 281. That's hilarious. You've got the Raiders with an extra game played on 15 with 281. And then you've got the Dragons on 204, whilst the Eels are at 284. So they are the 4th worst attacking unit in the competition. I can't believe the Raiders have played one extra game and yet they're still below them. And the Broncos in 281 is just outstanding, really. But look, this Eels team, they can't seem to attack this year, even though that's probably their biggest, point of emphasis. If there was anything that they would have to rely upon, it would be their attack. Obviously, it's still the 4th worst attack in the comp, and their defense is the second worst defense, the second worst in the comp itself, and they're only 16 points off better than the Dragons. So, however this Rabbitohs game goes here today, we could see that switch around too. But the Eels have had a super disappointing season. This is why it's such an emphasis that the back end of the year doesn't really matter too much in regards to teams having great form and going into the next year. You need to still be able to maintain that because we see so many times teams when there's no pressure on, they'll go and win a couple of games at the end of the year and everyone will be like, oh, wow, they're going to do something. This Eels team did that last year. They looked exciting. I think I had them for 9th position. We had Entertain Hours here right on the mark, and he was telling us that the Eels were going to win the comp because they won the preseason and they had some good form going into the back end of last year. So we had to tell him to settle it down because that was just absolutely ridiculous notion. And it's turned into a ridiculous notion. I was still pretty hyped about them. I still had them for 9th position. I thought they'd still be a competitive team. I thought they would have a lot of attack, and I thought that Jason Rowles, being more of a defensive-minded coach, I would have thought the Eels would be a lot better than they are. But you cannot argue it. They have not been anywhere close to being good enough to being in that top 8 region. If they go and win here today, it's probably more than likely just a one-off here. It really is. It probably is more than likely just a one-off because that's what the Eels have been doing. They'll get a win here and there. Like, let's go and have a look at their draw here. So in their last few weeks, they went and got a random win against the Raiders, but that's not really random because they're second last right now. But they lost to the Bulldogs 14-12. They lost to the Knights 28-22. They lost to the Storm 34-8. They got a random win against the Cowboys 33-13. On the other side of that, they lost 36-14 to the Warriors 33-18 to Manly. There's a random win against the Bulldogs 38-20. The week after the Bulldogs had beaten the Panthers, they lost 52-10 to the Titans 22. And this is when the Titans had awful attack. They lost 22-20 to the Tigers. They lost 48-20 to the Eels, and then they also had a win against the Dragons 30-20. This team is just so random when they pick their wins. Is this a winnable matchup here today for the Eels? Yes, it is. The Rabbitohs definitely are a beatable outfit, especially with the players that they've got out, like Latrell Mitchell and the likes. But it's just, it really is just so tough to see and predict what this Eels team is going to do on a negative side. They're not like they're not a positive team right now. They just aren't in any factor. And the errors that come out of them is ridiculous. The way they throw away games is ridiculous. Okay, sure, last week they did get that win against the Raiders, but that was also an awful game. It really was. We saw both teams making so many errors, and that was 2 weeks ago, sorry. And the Raiders had a chance to still win that game and steal that game despite being down 15-0 at one stage, and we thought that the Eels were just going to run away with this one because that field goal came in the end of the first half, but we thought the Eels would just run away with it. And then the Raiders came back in the 61st and the 68th minute, and then they still had another 12 minutes to go and score. They didn't score, granted, but also it was not spectacular. It just wasn't. And I tell you what, when it comes to the Raiders, I've been saying all year, Ethan Sanders is not the guy. So that was a very, very understanding result there. But I want to be more excited about Parramatta, but I can't be. Pre-season, I had high hopes for this team. And now I'm sitting here thinking, shit, you're lucky the Dragons are in the comp right now. You're lucky there's still 3 teams below you, but that could easily change. And it could easily change this week, mind you. If the Raiders beat the Dragons, which would be understanding and you would agree with, and the Titans beat the Bulldogs, which, look, it's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, the Bulldogs are a very beatable outfit, and the Titans just come off the back of a win against the Panthers. If the Titans and Rays both win, you lose, you go into second last position, and then you are lucky the Dragons exist, right? And this is coming from a Titans fan who understands what it's like to be like, oh, thank God the Dragons exist right now. And Dragons fans, I'm sorry, but you do have to be used in this context. So that's the Parramatta Eels. I don't know what to expect from them today. I don't know if they're going to come in here and get a shock, but also, again, the Rabbitohs are very, very beatable, and this is a very winnable game here for the Eels. I just don't know if I can back it. I just don't know if I can trust it whatsoever. Now, the NC for the Rabbitohs, Cameron Murray, he is in with the out being Bronson Garlick. The fullback is Jai Gray, with the wingers being Alex Johnston and Edward Corsi. Centres of Latrell Siegwald and Tallis Duncan. The 5'8" is Cody Walker, with the halfback being Ashton Ward. Front and forwards are Tavita Totola and Keon Kolomatangi, with the number 9 being Brandon Smith. The back row, David Fafita and Ewan Aiken, with the 13 being Cameron Murray, who is the captain. And then the interchange is Lachlan Hubner, Jamie Humphreys, Liam LeBlanc, John Rattle, Jaden Sullivan and Dane Jennings, with the coach being Wayne Bennett. This Rabbitohs team, obviously, they do have a lot of stars, but a lot of those stars are also injured. Both of their centres are injured right now. Obviously, you'd think it would look a lot more safe and secure for the Rabbitohs if they had Tallis Duncan in the back row alongside David Fafita, which is ultimately what they want to go with, which means that you would have Jack Whiten and Latrell Mitchell in the centres, and I think Jack Whiten is such an underrated miss out. Everyone's talking about Trell, everyone's talking about other outs, and Campbell Graham and the likes, but realistically, Jack Whiten is the pillar of their defense, which is crazy to say for a centre. But Jack Whiten's defensive efforts really do motivate this team. You saw that when he was fit and healthy, and he was playing like one of the best defensive players in the game when he was healthy. Now he's out. Everyone's talking about Trell. I think you should be talking about Jack Whiten, because I think they miss out so heavily on the defense. And, since Jack Whiten went down, I think it was maybe actually back in that Tigers game, to be fair, where their first 3 games defense, the Dolphins one wasn't great, but against the Tigers, it was really unreal. But they've just been giving up a ridiculous amount of points outside of that. 24 to the Bulldogs was stupid, considering the Dogs couldn't get over 20. 36 to the Raiders. 12 to the Dragons, which is probably still too much there. 6 to the Storm was a good one. 42 against the Knights is ridiculous. 12 against the Sharks was a good one. 32 against the Dolphins. 30 against the Cowboys. 28 against Manly. 6 against the Broncos was a good one a couple of weeks ago. But outside that Broncos game, their defense has just been absolutely getting slaughtered recently. And again, you play the Panthers next week, so good luck with that one. But this Rabbitohs team still have the talent. Just comes down to Cody Walker keeping his head, which we know that he doesn't typically do that. It comes down to Ashton Ward being able to play his game off the back of a quality Cody Walker who can help diversify the attack and put them on the front foot. When Cody's on, Cody is a great player. When Cody's off, he's trying to punch on with players and tackle them off the ball and giving away stupid penalties and all that kind of jazz. He's such a crucial and pivotal point of this team right now, Cody Walker, where if it goes astray, they will lose, and they will lose well. But if he keeps his head and keeps his mind on the job, they will probably have a good chance of winning that game. I do worry about defensively in those centres of Tallis Duncan and Latrell Seagwalt there, even though Latrell Seagwalt's actually been pretty good for them, in my personal opinion. I don't think he's been amazing, but I think that they haven't really been going down his side as much as you would like. They actually are loving that Edward Cozy side. Jai Gray should do his thing, and the forwards really should get their business going. So, look, I'm going to take the Rabbitohs today. I do think the Rabbitohs should just simply win this game. I think they're the better outfit, and they are, fighting to keep themselves in that top 8. Again, we'll get into the ladder in a second, but if they lose, they're not going to be dropping out of the top 8 because their points differential is so good. However, you play the Panthers next week, and then you probably would be dropping out, to be completely honest with you, if the Tigers and the Cowboys are going to win this week. But then again, the Cowboys are playing the Panthers, that benefits you. But you don't even want to have to think about this, right? You just want to get a win, and you just want to put yourself right back into the fray and set those foundations for the back end of the year. And then you can hope the Broncos lose, then maybe you could get Payne Haas. I doubt it, but the point matter is I'm going to take the Rabbitohs here. I just trust them a bit more. I can't fully trust them. This game could still go to the Eels, but I will be taking the Rabbitohs here today, and happy to be proven wrong. Happy to be proven wrong, and you must win this because, again, you've got a pretty tough run after this, Rabbits. You've got Panthers, you've got Knights, you've got Storm in 4 weeks' time. You do have the Raiders there. Sharks are still going to be tough there at Sharky Park. And then you play the Eels again. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your next 5 games, except for the Raiders, who I'm pretty certain you still lost to this year, mind you. But besides the Raiders, that's a pretty difficult run there for the Rabbits. So this is a very, very important must-win here for South Sydney, because this is your easiest matchup, besides maybe the Raiders who have already beaten you, but your easiest matchup across the next month and a half, right? But let's get into the ladder now to see where these two teams will situate themselves. Obviously, thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. The Eels, they're in 14th position on 14 points alongside the Brisbane Broncos. Now, the Eels with a minus 149. The Broncos are minus 108. If the Eels were to win this game, they would go above the Broncos into 13th position. The Broncos play the Roosters on Saturday, I believe it is. So if they... tomorrow night, on Friday night. But if the Eels win this, they go above the Broncos into 13th. They will also not go above anybody else, actually, because they'll be equal with the Storm and the Bulldogs on 16. But the Bulldogs have a minus 96. The Storm have a plus 20, and they're on minus 149. So you would have to win this game by 54 points or more. Parramatta to go above the Bulldogs. That's not happening. So the highest you can go is unless you win by 26 and the Titans go and win by 26, and then you go above them. But then that causes even more problems for the longer the season goes. The Gold Coast kind of finding some form there. So look, ultimately you're probably just going to be finishing at 13th position. But if you lose this game, well, the Titans and the Raiders are 2 points below you. If they both get their wins, Titans are minus 90, Raiders are minus 123, they can both jump you. And they both will jump you with wins if you lose this game. So there is a likely chance of you being in 15th position. There's also a likely chance of you staying in 14th position. And there's also a pretty likely chance that you go into 16th position, because the Titans are playing the Bulldogs, who are very beatable, and coming off a win against the Panthers, they're going to be really feeling motivated, and they're at home. And the Raiders get to play the Dragons, who are in 17th position. So there is a really, really likely chance that you will go into 16th position here. Really, really likely chance. So be very aware of that being the case there, unfortunately for you. So win is a must. Now, the Rabbitohs, they're in 7th position on 20 points alongside the Sharks and also Manly. Now, Manly are plus 116, Rabbitohs are plus 86, and the Sharks are plus 45. If you go and win this game, you would jump above Manly into 6th position. The Sharks have the bye, so actually that will only mean something if they lose. But the Rabbitohs with the win, they would go above Manly for the time being. They play the Storm on Saturday. Rabbitohs would go into 6th. They would also go equal with the Knights and the Roosters. They'd go above both of those teams. The Knights are on plus 34. Roosters are on plus 54. So the Rabbitohs for the time being would go into as high as 4th position. The Dolphins are on 22 as well, but they're on plus 129. So you would have to win this game by about 45 points to go above them. Not entirely impossible, but unlikely. So I'd have you in there for 4th, but then the Roosters, Broncos, you would be expecting the Roosters to win that game and get a 5th. Knights and Tigers. I feel like most people will probably tip the Knights. That's a difficult game. But then you go down to 6th if they won. And then Manly against the Storm. Obviously, that is a very, very hard game to predict. Very hard game to predict there. So you could get a win here and still finish in 7th. But ultimately, with a win, you could actually technically finish as high as 3rd if the Dolphins lose by enough. And you win by enough, but more than likely, based off of tips, I'd probably take the Storm. I'm probably going to take the Knights and the Roosters, so I would have you in for 6th position by the end of the round if those go that way. Now, the Rabbitohs, if they lose this game, well, they would automatically be below the Sharks because the Sharks have the bye, so they'll go up to 22 points there. The only other teams that can get onto the same level as them is the Cowboys on 18. Oh, my goodness. The Cowboys on 18 and the Tigers on 18. But the points differential for the Cowboys is minus 31. The Tigers are at minus 84. So with the Rabbitohs plus 86, it really wouldn't matter. So the lowest they will go is into 8th. If they lose this game, the way they finish this round will be in 8th position. But then again, you've got the Panthers next week, and those other teams will be chomping at the bit to get above the Rabbitohs. So that is the ladder. We've knuckled down with everything there. Let's get into the chat. Let's see what you were saying. Obviously, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here, and let's hopefully get a good one going. We're going to have to... So, Seb, just remember, if you see someone spamming like that, mate, you're going to have to just time them out, bro. Just time them out. I know you're obviously new to it, so that's why I'll just let you know. If you see someone spamming like that, just tell them to slow down the comments, because obviously there's more people here than just them. But all right, let's get into the chat and see what you're saying. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Just Poker says, Isaiah Yongi, first try. Sam Jenko, member for 38 months. Jeez, I've had to deal with you for that long. Oh my gosh, how are we doing that? How have we done that? And he says, how are we all going tonight? Got my hot shocky, ready to watch the footy. Thinking the Bunnies tonight will be too good for the Squeals. Yeah, realistically, they should be too good here. They should be, but I just don't know with this Eels team. I really don't. But the Rabbitohs, even with their injuries and their players out, I still think they should be able to get the job done here. I know the Eels have players out, but they're not as significant as other teams. They just aren't as significant as other teams. They are still important to the Eels, right? But they're the most injured team of the comp. Rabbitohs are second again. But I just don't see those outs being as significant as, say, for example... no, you're right, Seb. I just don't think that they're as significant as other teams do have. Katrina says, who do you think is going to win? I've got the Rabbitohs here. I'm currently in Danang, Brenton. Danang in Vietnam. Costa says, let's go Rabbitohs. The Titans steam engine is warming up. The Titans steam engine, it is choo-choo, chugga-chugging all the way to the grand final. That's what it's doing. Sione Halasima says, well-deserved Cronulla. Yeah, massive. Absolutely. Makes me sick. They try to scam their way off of scam. Like, they're scamming their way off of scam. Just tells you everything you need to know. Also got scammed from one of these damn well cans of Coke, and it's bloody one of these ones that it's popping out like that. It makes it so awkward to drink. So awkward. You know, real-world problems. That's real-world problems. I'm very nervous for Wars versus Dolphins. Few injuries to the Wars may struggle a bit. Stop it. Brenton says, this Tigers have a few ins this week. That makes me nervous. I don't know how to call that game. Like, I'm probably leaning towards the Knights, but I just don't trust your defense. I think that you've got a better attack than theirs, but I just don't trust your defense, like, literally at all. I think it's all well and good that they're up in their position. They deserve to be up in the position that they are, but I think that it's very, very testy for how quickly that could drop, because they've got 358 points against them. That's behind the Panthers, the Warriors, the Dolphins, and the Roosters. Behind Manly, behind the Rabbitohs, behind the Sharks, also behind, what's 358? Also behind the Bulldogs, and we know their problems. Also behind the Titans now. So you're actually in 10th position for defense. 10th position for defense. Yeah, so that is a major worry there for Newcastle. So that's why I don't trust your defense, but attacking-wise, I do think that you should be able to beat the Tigers with how many points the Tigers have been giving up recently. They're 417 points against. The only teams worse than them are the Eels, the Raiders, and the Dragons. So they're the 4th worst defense in the comp. So with your attack, you realistically should be putting a score past them. Just comes down if the Tigers can put a score past you to have a similar game to the Knights and Rabbitohs, really. That's realistically how that should go there based off of the stats. But Knights attacking wise, 392 points for. It's only behind the Panthers, the Warriors, the Dolphins. And that's it. You're the fourth best attacking so they've got the fourth worst defense. You've got the fourth best attack. You should be able to put plenty of points on. It just comes down to your defense. And points-wise, they haven't scored that many points this year, the Tigers. You know, they're 333, which is behind the Panthers, the Warriors, the Dolphins, the Roosters, the Knights, Manly, Rabbitohs, Sharks, Cowboys, Storm. And that's it. They're 11th for the attack. They are 11th for attack. So the stats are saying that the Knights should win that game by a lot. The stats are suggesting that. Does that mean that happen? Not necessarily. Chucky says, no, let's be honest. Titans fans and real fans still shop to games they know they probably can't win, no hate. Well, yeah, that is true. I did that for many a year, mate. I went to every game, home or away, and watched us come fourth last. You know, I've been to many seasons where turn 11 to 19. First half of the year I was in Chicago, but then I came back and obviously was at all the Titans games, and we're on the wooden spoon. If you are a Titans fan, I say this every week, if you are still a Titans fan, throughout this club's history, you are a genuine, passionate fan. There are real fans here. If you admit to being a Titans fan, there is no way that you can be called a bandwagoner. There's no way you can be called fake. You are as real as they come. Now, when the Titans eventually become successful, whenever that is, there will be a lot of people who jump on the wagon. But that happens with every single club. And I'd actually love that, because at least we'd have a lot more fans at the games and whatnot. But the point of the matter is that if you right this very second are claiming to be a Titans fan, that means that the club's never given you a reason. You know, they've never given you a reason to support us. But the fact of the matter is that you genuinely care about the team that you're watching, despite the fact that they do lose more often than not. So, yeah, you can't be classed as a fake or a bandwagoner or anything like that, regardless of what's currently happening. They beat the Panthers. We also did beat the Panthers, and we are going to win the comp. So, Chunky needs to get a grip. Lorenzo says, mate, do you think that Walker is still a caliber one half? I think that Cody Walker, when he's on, yeah, he's still had some fantastic games this season. When he keeps his head in check, he has a great ability to turn games on its head in the Rabbitohs' favour. When he keeps his head in check, they will win more games than not. But unfortunately, he doesn't keep his head in check and starts to go down a real gritty route on a negative sense, where he'll give away penalties, he'll throw forward passes, and a player from the opposite team will get into his head. Like, if there's an Eels player here today who should actively go out there to try and get in his head, Adokar is a great start, but he's out there on the wing. You could be looking towards a guy like maybe Kelman Tuolangi to really get into him. Sam Tuiviti, he seems like he's probably quite quiet. Jack Williams, maybe. I don't know. You've just got Talon Silver, if he comes off the bench as a hooker, can really get into him. Dylan Walker is a prime example. Bring Dylan Walker on early and then send him after Cody Walker. Don't even ask him to play rugby league. Just tell him, listen, go and get in Cody's head. Go and get in his head. That's what I would be doing with Dylan Walker today. Otherwise, says Bunnies to win 28-12 is my guess for tonight's game. Don't mind. I think there's probably a bit more points scored. That's for me, up the wires, that's telling me that you've watched this game for 20 plus years and your mindset is still in the older score lines. I think that realistically, with what we've been seeing so far this season in the last couple of years, this game should be going quite high. And I mean like quite high. I think this game should be seeing a high score. If it doesn't, and you're right, fantastic. But the way these two defenses are coming in here, I don't know, man. Rabbitohs, they look good at some points defensively, but also they look awful at some points defensively too. I don't trust the Eels. It's a hard game to read, but like, sure, I just feel like there should be a higher score here. Mark my words, says Bunnies to win 42-12. I'd probably be more so leaning towards a scoreline of that area for sure. So I'm just going to put my phone on mute here. I'd be looking towards that scoreline a bit more for sure. Yeah, I think 1-12. Eek says we'll see about that. You'll see about what? Mark my words, says Rabbits and Dragons are going to be good next year. I disagree. But I'll agree with you on the Rabbitohs. But so what? So just because the Dragons is who I'm talking about here. So just because they've made some signings that immediately, and forgive me, Dragons fans, this is not for you right now. I'm just being a bit more of a villain here in regards to the thought process here, because I feel like this person is immediately thinking just because there's been signings that means they're going to be successful. We've seen many clubs make signings of decent enough players, because I can be an antagonist here and I can say, well, Scott Drinkwater is a good attacking fullback, but also defensively very, very inept. Also not exactly the youngest fullback, but he's still got years left in him. But I don't necessarily think that means they're going to be good because of Scott Drinkwater. Philip Sami has been good, but also is he going to care as much about St. George down there at the Dragons? He's grown up on the Gold Coast. He definitely had some real poor games over the last couple of years. He's had some really good form this year. Is it because he's really trying to prove himself again? Like, good luck for him, but there's an easy way that turns out to be an absolute, shitfest. I love Phil, and I hope that he succeeds down there at the Dragons, but I don't necessarily think that it answers a whole bunch of questions that are needed there. Their halves are still an absolute concern. Yes, they've got Kolomatangi. His form's been really poor for the Rabbitohs this year, and realistically, you'd want to be going out there and just coming in with some massive, massive form to really set your name here, part of this club, before you go to the Dragons kind of deal. You've got Watson coming in for a year. What's the buying going to be like there before he goes to Papua New Guinea? I wouldn't necessarily trust that. It's like with Jonah Pezzett and the Parramatta Eels. Unfortunately, he's been injured, but he's only here for a year before he goes to the Broncos next year. And I always questioned about the buy-in overall. And then I think there's another sign that I can't think of right now, but I don't think that you should be coming out here and saying they're going to be good. If you're going to say the Rabbitohs definitely should be good, but the Dragons are a 50-50 team. They could be decent. They could be, but there's also a lot of frailties still in that squad that I would be concerned about, because you're basing it right now off of signings in a year that they've won one game so far. Do they have an upside next year? Sure. I'd hear you saying they've got an upside, but the halves are still an issue. It is still a major issue. And Jacob Little being that starting 9 I like Jacob Little. Is he your permanent 9, like across 80 minutes? Or is he more of like a super inclusion where you super sub, where you put him on and he just speeds up the game? Or do you put him on at the start and then need somebody else to kind of finish up, which is kind of what they do with Damien Cook a lot of the time, where Damien Cook starts and they bring him on more as a super sub. I don't know if he's necessarily the 80-minute guy that you're looking for. I think there'll be a completely different outfit, but I don't think that defensively this team changes the ground a great deal. The signings they've made don't change this team around defensively. Sami's got massive defensive frailties. So does Scott Drinkwater. So does Kurt Kolomatangi, even though he makes a lot of tackles. He can definitely miss some. But I'd say that he's probably the best defender of the lot there. But that's also in a position where, you'd be fully expecting that as a prop. But yeah, there's still a lot of concerns with the Dragons, but at least they've got some upside, and that's why I would listen to the upside rather. Jeff says, go the Eels. I'm feeling 100% confident to win. No, you're not. Eek says it's going to be a walkover. All right. I got my bet on both teams this game tonight. Well, that's just a stupid betting, isn't it? You got your bet on both teams to win tonight, do you? Well, what's the point of betting? What is the point of betting there? Costa says, who will win, Broncos or Roosters? I've got the Roosters to win that game. Adam says, watch this. I'm predicting Eels win. Okay, sure. Like, the Eels definitely could win this game. It's a very winnable game here for both these teams. It's just that I definitely would trust the Rabbitohs more than the Eels, but the Eels with Mitchell Moses in might be a completely different team. They come out here and get a W. I think this is a very, very difficult and irky game to read, where the Eels need to win to keep their season alive, and the Rabbitohs, they need to win to really establish themselves in that top 8 and keep that gap alive, especially with the fact that the Cowboys have a difficult game this week and the Tigers have a difficult game this week. That could really set that gap between them and the guys outside of the 8. And also with a win here, they would go equal with the Cowboys and the Sharks and the Tigers don't have 8. So the Cowboys and the Sharks and Manly, they'd hope that they lose to the Storm. Like, they would be equal with them on wins. They've already had all 3 of their buys, the Rabbitohs, so they don't have to think about that anymore. But buys, now you just have to think about winning, right? Buys only matter if a team that you're looking at for their buys. So for example, if you are Manly, right? So they've got 8 wins to the Rabbitohs 7. Now, Manly have had 2 buys and the Rabbitohs have had 3 buys. So Manly can easily sit there right now and say, well, we've got a buy in hand, so we're just waiting for that. But the thing is that with that buy, if the Rabbitohs win that week and the Rabbitohs win throughout, the buy doesn't actually matter jack shit. The bye does matter currently because they are separated by that one win. That's actually putting Manly into a rifle spot above the Rabbitohs, because without that bye, they would be below them. But the point of the matter is that The bye can mean something, and a lot of the time it doesn't mean jack shit. But for the Rabbitohs' sake, they've got it out of the way now. Now they pump home strong, is what they have to be thinking. Like, they have to just pump home strong. 10 minutes to go until the game kicks off, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Seb says heat's getting to me. I think not used to these 41-degree temperatures. Yeah, no, that is ridiculous in England. I know you guys don't. I think it's like 80% of homes don't have AC. I think that needs to change. But I believe it's like 80% of homes in the England or the United Kingdom don't have air conditioning, and they're currently going through 41-degree heats, guys, 40-degree heats, which is just outstanding, if you know what that is. Funnily enough, in India, that's every day during the summer. They usually, when I was in India for 2 and a bit months, the heat every single day was minimum 38 degrees, 39 degrees, at a minimum, especially in Delhi. In Udaipur, it wasn't as bad, but the night was beautiful. Nighttime was absolutely stunning. It was like a 17, 18 degrees kind of deal, a little bit cool, but not too cold kind of deal. That was beautiful. But I know the English are going through it right now, so God bless you guys. Unfortunately, this means a lot of the older generation will pass away. We usually do see this with the heat waves and whatnot in England, and this is a crazy heat wave, so God bless you. Otherwise, it's Dane Gago to the Broncos, Jake Everett to the Tigers being confirmed for next year, and rumours of Sam McIntyre for the Cowboys close to signing a deal with the Wires. Sammy Mack going to the Wires? Get around my boy Sammy Mack. Get around him. I'd love to see that. Laurie says, hello everyone, get around you. Laurie, mark my words, I think the Tigers did pretty good against the Finns, and I know they had their good players out, and Tigers did too, but they lost Jock and Herb in the same game. Interesting. At the end of the day, the Dolphins did just simply look like the better team there from the outset. I do think the Tigers would have probably made it a lot more competitive at the end, but the Tigers are just getting injuries this year, crucial injuries too. I think they get a couple of players back, as Brenton was saying, for this week's game against the Knights, which will make it, an interesting game. There is the final game on Sunday. They've got Adam Dewey back. They've got Alex Twal back. That's huge. I'd like to find who comes into the team. They've got Falatino Tavana back in as well. He's not going to go onto the wing. They've still got Terrell Skelton, but you might see Tavana. You may see Tavana sneak onto that wing, but I don't know. I don't think so. They'll probably keep Skelton there. That is going to be an interesting matchup for sure. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins, this is what they do. They will earn their right to attack, and in the second half, they'll put a score past you. That's what they did. Brenton says, fingers crossed, bro. Our home games this year have been floggings. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't been floggings, mainly nail biters. That is true. Yeah. Sorry, I read past that point. I read past that point and said that's true, and then realised, wait a second, I just said that's true to the mainly floggings. Hasn't been floggings, mainly nail biters. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. Parrot says, "Go Parrot. What are your predictions?" I'm taking the Rabbitohs here today, but I don't trust either team. Parrot says, how are Sharks scams? Because they're scamming dogs. That's why. The Gold Coast Titans says, up the Titans. Love that. Beck says, I have a feeling Eels going to win. Again, guys, it's very possible either team to win this game. The Rabbitohs still have plenty of outs, and you can't trust them, but I would trust them more than Parramatta for sure. Bretton says, mark my words, why did you change your name from Chunky? Atlas says, Brenton, I was wondering the same thing. Seb says, paddle chips because they are shit. He's talking about the Sharks there. Costa says, who will win, Broncos or Roosters? Yeah, already answered that question, taking the Roosters. William Seneca, hold on, that just skipped down. Game starts very soon. William Seneca says, Eels, you've got to own this 80 minutes. Go Eels, good luck. Holland says, I swear everyone thinks the drawings will do good next year. Or the Dragons will do good next year. They've made a few good signings, but they are last right now. So I just think it's way too early to say they'll be good next year. What they're doing is they're providing some hopefulness. There is some potential excitement about it. There is a lot of upside about it, but there's also a lot of downside about it. And people expect immediate change. I think that there is an entire possibility that there's still a bottom 4 team next year. I probably don't think that they come last, but also entirely possible the Perth Bears, they don't have an amazing team. The Perth Bears do not look spectacular. Now, a lot of the time, people will always look at these new teams, like the Titans were always expected to come last in 2007. The Dolphins were expected to come last in the first couple of years, and they didn't. And now we're going to have the same thing with the Perth Bears. And look, they may not, but at the end of the day, the Titans did have a stronger lineup. A much stronger lineup in 2007 with the likes of Scotty Prince and Preston Campbell and Luke Bailey and Anthony LaFranchi and whatnot. They did have a really good, strong lineup there. And then when the Dolphins came in, they did have a lot of these high prospects and these big-time players that were there as well, but it was just about the fact that they hadn't established themselves as a team, and you would have expected them to come last in their first year, but they didn't do that. I had still made the 8 though. But this Perth Bears team, they are a new team. They may be able to rile up some real momentum behind the North Sydney Bears side of the fan base when they're playing at North Sydney Oval. But outside of that, I think that long-term next season, they're going to struggle significantly because none of their players stand out to you. There isn't a big-time player at that club that you think, well, shit, this Perth Bears team is really going to be dangerous and they're going to scare a lot of the opposition. I don't think that right now. Now, sure, that could be easily proven wrong, but I think you've got the mixture of a brand new team with a team that's really underwhelming right now. Now, I know about their cap extension and all that kind of stuff, but I just think as we currently speak, the Perth Bears, they look really, really strong for it. Mr. NRL guy says Australia is going to beat Paraguay if the ref is not paid. Well, again, Australia's never lost to Paraguay. We've played them 5 times, we've drawn 3 times, and we've won 2 times, and all we need to do is a draw. If we get a draw, we come second. To win is just a bonus because we can't finish above America. So no matter what, if we win, that's fantastic momentum, but it's not important. But I need Australia to go and play like they need to win that game because otherwise, it's going to be interesting. Whoever scores the first goal wins the game. And Paraguay need to win because they're the ones that would be really susceptible with the goal difference and whatnot, being that one of those third place teams, 4 teams get eliminated, which ultimately probably Scotland's going to be one of them now. And can't believe that South Africa went and beat South Korea, by the way. That is just such a random result. That is such a crazy result. Can't believe South Korea did that. Seb says, so because they made signings, that's going to mean they change things completely. Not many times does a heap of signings make a massive difference to go from bottom 2 to top 8. Well, not bottom 2, last to top 8. Yeah, I think my biggest complaint with that is the Dragons are going to be good. I think that wording there is... It's not like it's impossible, but it's just that wording suggests that it's basically a guarantee the Dragons with their signings are going to be good. I would listen to upside. I'd listen to the Dragons could be a lot better next year. I think that's a good way to put it. But to say the Dragons will be good right now is a very, very difficult sell, and we need to wait and see how it pans out. Justin says, Border Brother, just out of curiosity, how long have you been doing this YouTube thing? Seriously and consistently for about probably since 2019, but I've been doing it since 2015. Hollander says, Seb, you born in Oz or England? He's born in Australia. He's born in Australia, mate. He's a big Australian fan. He hates the English football team. Like, he absolutely despises them. I remember the other day he was saying the Harry Kane's a shitfest, can't even beat Ghana. I agree, to be fair. You know, who would want Harry Kane when you've got Mohamed Toure, Nestri and Agunda? You know, you'd agree, wouldn't you, Seb, as a downright passionate Australian? And he says, the signings we have made will help and are an upgrade on what we have now. Our issue is still our outside backs, and we need to go out and sign someone decent along with Sami. Our young forwards excite me. Yeah, again, sure, I'm okay with the upside conversation. It's just the Dragons will be good that I probably take a little bit of an issue with. Nay says 100% Dragons top... Okay, yeah. Now, this is a Dragons fan commenting this. 100% Dragons top 8. Seb says, no, we have one portable aircon unit trying to cool down the bedroom so you can sleep. It was still 24 degrees all night. 24 degrees is hot for a night. That is hot for the night time because obviously typically the night is when it cools down a lot more. Here in Da Nang right now, it's like 35 degrees during the day, so it's brilliant that I get to stream here at this time. And then... at night time, I think last night was about 25, 26, which was pretty warm. Bait Clips says, hello, just subscribe. Get around your Bait Clips. Mark my words says, no, trust Dragons will come back and win the comp. Okay, now you're just proving to me you're a Dragons fan. David Watson says, Eels win tonight. It's wet and slippery. Ideal for the Eels. Well, don't know about that one. Tigers are mid at best. All their fans are delusional. Same as last season. Start good, then drop off, then win a few late. I don't know if I want to get involved in this conversation because I get called a Tigers hater all the time just for outlining my beliefs in... And it was completely right last year, mind you. Everything I was saying was completely right last year. And this year, I've maintained that I struggle to see them... it's not that I actually still think that there's a chance for them to make the top 8 if they've got their full-strength roster there, but it's not going to be easy, and I don't know if the Tigers do make it still. So whilst I entirely believe that the Tigers are a better unit and they are developing nicely, by the way, it is raining here in Parramatta, which is going to suck in regards to knock-ons in this game, especially from the Eels standpoint, but I definitely think the Tigers can make the 8, but I wouldn't go all out balls to the wall saying, yeah, the Tigers do make the 8. I think it was quite controversial that Titans game, but at the end of the day, they did struggle against the Gold Coast. They've had some players out. Like, they're going to get some players in. I think this week will tell us a lot about this Tigers team with Adam Dewey and Alex Twell coming back in. It'll tell us a lot. So, no, I wouldn't be as harsh as you are saying they're delusional and all that sort of stuff. I think Tigers fans definitely can be delusional, don't get me wrong. So, by the way, Mitchell Moses' 250th game tonight. I think Tigers fans can definitely be delusional. Absolutely. Especially with the way they carried on last year with this channel. When we weren't saying anything hateful, we were just saying, like, relax. You won the spoon 3 times in a row just last year. You're not going to win the comp immediately right afterwards, which is kind of what we're doing with the Dragons here. But the Dragons fans aren't even remotely as much as what we've remotely as much as what the Tigers fans carried on with. So, look, I would love to see the Tigers make the 8. I would, but I've still got a lot of questions before I can say that they're going to do it. Benny West is outside the ground. Cops just took my week. Go Para. Fair enough. David says, hey, mate, always wondered why the Gold Coast have changed their name numerous times. Do you know why? Chargers, Titans, Seagulls. Completely different organisations, completely different franchises. Just the locations are the same. Chargers, Titans, and Seagulls are not the same club. Laurie says, I apologise, SA fans here on the chat. Just not just rugby, you can play football. Seb says, she is a powerlifter, started doing it about 4 or 5 years ago. She only got into sports later in life. Wait, what are we talking about here? Oh, okay, Seb's wife. I was going to say, well, I don't know what just happened just now. Seb says, was meant to go to Gold Coast this October. His wife was competing out there, but it's moved to next year, so maybe end of next year. Well, welcome to Gold's Country next year. But the Rabbitohs will kick this ball up, and the Eels will start off with it, and it will be, I think it's Sam Tuivaiti who's going to bring this ball to the 10 here on first tackle. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Titans deserve the win against Penrith after the trainer incident. I don't really give a shit about the trainer incident. People have made this a thing. Like, they've made it a real thing. Like, oh, the Titans got their revenge. I couldn't give a fuck about the revenge. I just cared that we won the game. And it doesn't even matter who it was against. Like, it was impressive of who it was against and how it was done. Knock on from the Eels. Welcome to Rugby League. Welcome back to another week of Parramatta. Cameron Murray with the ball. 0 tackle at the 25. Thank you, Daz. I will update that scoreboard. Welcome back to another week of Parramatta Squeals, where they've already knocked the ball on the first set of the game. It is raining, so do expect quite a lot of drop balls here today. And it's going to be Tavita Totola. Oh, I just realised I didn't even look at my fantasy team. Shit. I think I've only got Koloamatangi in this game, to be fair. I think I've only got Kaloa. Cody Walker, Jai Gray underneath. He'll be taken out of the 5 on third tackle. Roll it back here to Latrell Seagwell. Gets it to Cody Walker. They're 15 metres away. Keon Koloamatangi. Please tell me that I had him in my team last week, because otherwise I won't get him this week. And then shit, I'll be done over. Rabbitohs out to the right. That's going to be Cody Walker. Tallis Duncan can't get the offload away. It'll be fifth tackle, 3 metres away from the line. Shows some defence here, Parramatta. Show some defense. Dave Fafita, what on earth was that? That is actually atrocious. That is so selfish from David Fafita. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so selfish from David Fafita. And then he's just been tackled on a fifth tackle as well. That was never ever on. There was so many Eels players there defensively. That was never ever on. Oh my gosh, I didn't. Oh no, I've kept I don't know how and Leo Thompson in the game. Yep, okay, so I did not. Well, that's just lovely, isn't it? That's just lovely, isn't it? So I don't get Koloamatangi now. You're kidding. I hope that he has a really poor game. 4 tackle here for the Eels at 30. But my FIFA World Cup fantasy team's looking like it's going to be a belter this week. It looks belter. I haven't got a single player under 7 so far. Vinicius Jr. in the team. Hakim, he's got a goal as well and a clean sheet. Oh, no, they didn't have a clean sheet, but he got a goal. Alex Johnston's going to bring this ball here to the 30 on first tackle, gets whomped. Got a clean sheet with Cesar Montez from Mexico. And Gabriel for Brazil got a clean sheet. So I'm bloody flying right now this week in fantasy. Second tackle at 33. I think I'm number 1 in our BKRsport league too. Ewan Aiken brings this ball here to the 40 on third tackle. Well, surely the Eels fire up here with Mitchell Moses being his 250th game. Jai Gray to the right-hand side of the 45. They get it across now to Tallis Duncan. Tallis Duncan brings his ball to the 40 on the Eels side of the field. Fourth tackle. Louis with the $8 donation. Says, I haven't done the smoky here. Come on, Eels, don't let me down. Oh, you've gone the smoky here, sorry. Come on, Eels, don't let me down. Yeah, Parramatta, definitely a team that never lets anybody down ever. Never thought of them as a letdown team. But thank you very much for the donation, Olivia. And that'll be an easy one for Isaiah Yongi at the 8 on first tackle. Upgrade the TV to Moz. Let's get it. Second tackle now for the Eels. They will be at the 15. 4 minutes in. Mark my words, says David Fafita better make up for that shitty play. Oh man, it was one play. Let's settle down. It was one play. It wasn't like it was a knock on for a try or a mistake for a try. It was just a fifth tackle, 3 meters out from the line. This might be a penalty here. That looks like a raised forearm into Latrell Seagwald's head. Oh, it's a knock on here from the Eels anyway. Knock on Para. I thought that was a raised forearm, which is something they don't apparently call nowadays because the Tigers had one of those with Paddy Herbert, which wasn't called. Oh, no, it wasn't a raised forearm. I just saw his forearm coming down. It was actually just an accidental head clash here, but it is a knock on here from Kelpatawangi. Yeah, no, sorry. His arm's down here, and I can see his arm as the last push off, but it's well lower. It's just an accidental head clash. But it is a knock on against Parramatta regardless. Moses has never won a milestone game, and it's not changing tonight. All right, we'll see. Benny West has just changed his logo. Is that a Man United logo? That's atrocious. What is that? I can't see it. Looks like it may be like a distance Man United logo with weird colours. Tell us, Duncan now, he'll be at the 20 on first tackle. Mose actually think he's the original Mose, a little bit up himself. What? I know what you're referring to, but what? Seb says, left the 16-point scorer defender on the bench for Mexico. Who is the... Oh, there was a defender. Who wasn't it? The left back. The left back who scored and got a clean sheet. Third tackle now for the Rabbitohs. They're 5 meters away from the line. Brandon Smith with the ball. He'll get it across to Jai Gray. Jai Gray underneath to Talis Duncan. Eels defense has been pretty strong so far. Para, 4 minutes, 2 errors. Is that good? Yeah, it's fantastic. Usually there'd be about 4 errors by now. But Cody Walker! There's an error of Parramatta defensively. Shuts over Cody Walker and the Rabbitohs, and it's 4-0 with a kick to come. Well, is Cody on? He will slap through for a try, and it's 4-0 to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Way too easy for him. Nathan's mate, was that a regular coach? Each and a half after tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, the convenience store just outside of my place here in Da Nang did not have any Coke Zero, and they had no Coke Light either, so I had to go with the full strength. Mate, I'm fine. I'm shaking, son. Having full strength Coke. My goodness me. I'm definitely living up to the Gold Coast name, that's for sure. Deary me. It's a star on my iPhone. My iPad ain't working. Mark my words says you got to love Cody. You definitely don't. Definitely can easily think that he's an absolute knob. But with that being said, when he's on, he can be very, very good. And hopefully he's on here today. But no, the words you got to love Cody is definitely not something that typically anybody will say nearly ever except for a Rabbitohs fan. With that being said, if you can take away the emotion out of it, like he definitely is a good player. He is. Echo says, Paraguay are going to get the win. Yeah, that's nice, man. You can be a hater all you like, but at the end of the day, we've never lost to Paraguay. We've played them 5 times for 3 draws and 2 wins, and we're currently above them on the rankings, and we're currently above them in the group. So you can take your hate, and you can see where the sun don't shine, and you can shove it right where the sun don't shine, Echo. That's my thoughts back to you. So thank you for your analytical input there from a position that doesn't have any stats to back up what you just said. But welcome to the football conversation for the first time in probably your life. So the Rabbitohs here. Charles Seagwell will put that ball through the goals, and it is 6-0 to the Rabbitohs, 6 minutes in to the game. Ash Klein says, Cody's a gronk. There's also that thought process. Para, bless, Latrell ain't playing. Well, that's not really something I'd be saying straight after Cody Walker's just run straight through the middle of the lineup and it's already 6-0. Yeah, Seb, you're right. At least you got a good 4 minutes for your money, Olivia. Chelsea says, thoughts on the Eels potentially going after Leniu? Leniu is such a weird one, man. Like, Leniu has always been an impact player. He's got such a strong body for his position. He's got such a... You would expect him to be a lot better than what he's shown. I don't really know what's gone wrong there with Spencer. I really don't know. Maybe it's been the way he's been utilised at the Eels, or maybe he just doesn't have the long-term ticker with his big-time body. But you see bigger guys playing for longer. I'm really not too sure. He's such an individual player for the minutes that they utilise him for, and I think that's where they regressed him. And again, that could be due to good reason, or it could just be to mismanagement. I'm not too sure. But you would have expected a much larger and much better career from Spencer Lenny than what he's showing currently. Cameron Murray's going to bring this ball, gets a great offload there to Cody Walker. Cody Walker's going to get through. He's away. Taking under 45 at fit tackle. And now they go to the right, and it'll be Ashton Ward who slaps it down to the 5, to the 3. Zayongi gets it. And Zayongi now is going to be at the 8 here on first tackle. Absolutely respect the grind. Keep it up. Yeah, well, I could have grinded harder this week, to be fair. I haven't really done too much FIFA World Cup action. I've had a little bit of sickness, to be fair, and I also had a hectic day yesterday, man. Gee whiz, I couldn't stream last night. You know, I've got one 33-kilogram bag, and I had my partner, 25-kilogram bag, and I was carrying around those all day. Plus, obviously, when you got a partner, you got to carry everything, right? So that was a pretty hectic day because I carry around my monitor, right? I don't care about the extra baggage charges. I carry around my Apple Mac monitor so that it's better quality here and I can connect a lot more rather than the laptop that we went around with last year. First tackle with the Rabbitohs at the 25. So that obviously increases the baggage weight. And man, I tell you what, carrying around that all yesterday, plus the backpack, plus just everything, it just really screwed me. And especially in the hot weather of Vietnam. So I wasn't able to grind hard enough last night for some Football World Cup matches, but we'll be live for probably the Japan-Sweden game tomorrow, plus also definitely the Australia-Paraguay game. 25-kilogram bodyboard bag, you're an idiot. That's what you are. Cameron Murray, Cody Walker, off to Jai Gray, then to Latrell Seagwell. I'm not in Indonesia, mate. I'm not in Bali. Did you see those guys on Instagram? I know you wouldn't because you don't have Instagram. Fit tackle with the Rabbitohs and they'll whack this ball up. Do you see those guys on Instagram trying to argue for an Indonesian Bali NRL team expansion? Zayongi, he's going to be taken back in the end goal. That's actually really good there from the Rabbitohs. That is really good to take it back in the end goal. Cameron Murray with a massive, massive tackle. And it's going to be a drop out here from Parramatta to the Rabbitohs. And it's all in one motion before you start complaining that was a extra effort to get it back in the end goal. That's a great kick there, but this chase from the Rabbitohs didn't actually look that unbelievable, but Zayongi took a little bit to work into it, and then he decides to, this is what I hate, players decide to run backwards to try and find space outwards, and a lot of the time, most of the time, it'll go against you and you'll get dragged back into the end goal or you'll lose a lot of metres. Well, that's what just happened now, but the Rabbitohs here on first tackle, they're going to be 28 metres away from the line. 10 minutes gone here, guys. 30 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. They go Keon Kolomatangi. And Kolomatangi gets his ball to the 20 on second tackle. You're staying awake for the Australia game. Mate, the Australia game isn't until 9 a.m. my time tomorrow. It's a midday game for you guys. What do you mean staying awake for it? It doesn't start till 9 a.m. tomorrow for me. No way am I staying awake for that. What do you mean quick power nap? The game doesn't start for like over 12, like 14, 15 hours, bro. Like, what do you mean having a quick power nap? Jai Gray, double pump. He'll be taking out third tackle here at the 5. Cody says at the wireless. Dragon Lover says Rabbitohs are going to gas out. Based off of what? That's a bad pass, though, and it's going to be Eels ball here at the 10. Obviously, you just hate the Rabbitohs because based off of what? Brenton says, what kind of question is that? Jeremy said, yeah, firstly, the question doesn't make sense, but also secondly, of course I would be. If the game was at midnight tonight for me, then, or 9 p.m. my time for me, of course I'd just stay awake. There'd be no point. And the Eels will take it down here at the 30 on second tackle. Mark Moses said, let's be dead ass. I love the Titans because my name went for them before something happened, but you got to love Campbell. What was the point of the let's be dead ass there? I thought you were about to say like an insult or you're going to say something controversial. Like, okay, sure. Yeah, you're right. I thought there was going to be a controversial statement made after that to try and rile me up. But, well, yeah, the let's be dead ass there was just so unnecessary for that comment. Fit tackle now at the 35. It was 3 a.m. from us. Grow up, 7. Support your countrymen of Australia. Grow up. Come on. And that's going to be a drop ball here, and Jai Gray will get at the back. It will be dropped by the Rabbitohs, but it does go backwards, and it's first tackle now for South Sydney at the 10. And the Rabbitohs, Edward Corsi. Oh, that's a high tackle. Yep, there's a penalty coming up for the Rabbitohs. High tackle against Parramatta. I did see that Josh Shush is some of the Tigers. This is your last chance. Nobody will sign him if he doesn't make it here. If he does not make it here, nobody will sign him. He's been at the Rabbitohs. He's been at Manly. He's met with other clubs. I know he met with the Titans at one stage. It didn't end up coming to us. I think he may have met with the Storm at one stage as well. I could be wrong there. And now he's at the Tigers. So he needs to turn it up now. And I think he definitely needs to give up the halves situation. If he's gone to the Tigers, there's no way that he's going to be coming into the halves there. He has to go back into his back row position. But also they've got some Watchalong there. And who's their other back row? I can't think right now. But I guess that's the position he has to look at. To be fair with this heat, I'll probably be awake sweating my tits off. Come on. Get it done. Dave for feeder. He's going to bring this ball all the way to the 35. It's a good run there from Dave. 4 tackle now. They'll go to the left-hand side. Off to Cameron Murray. Murray to Cody Walker. Good pass. Good quick passing. Even the Rabbitohs their way. It's Alex Johnson. It's Alex Johnson. It's Alex Johnson. It's Alex Johnson. It's Alex Johnston. Oh, 1 metre away from breaking the all-time try-scoring record. Fit tackle. 2 metres out. And Cody Walker kicks his ball through for himself. And he's going to force a dropout, which is going to work. I don't think it was the right option to kick, but at the end of the day, it's worked out here to kick in that scenario. But he has got a dropout regardless. He's some of the Magpies, not the Tigers. Did he not sign with the Tigers? Okay, fair enough. You lot are through, Seb says. Look, I think we are, but at the end of the day, as long as we don't lose by 3 goals to Paraguay, but there's so many stats that line up that this game is just going to be either a win or a draw. Again, Australia have not lost them in 5 games we've played them. We've had 3 draws and 2 wins. Either one of those results makes us through in second. As long as we don't lose by 3 goals or more, then, you know, we're going to be completely fine as well. And Paraguay haven't scored more than 2 goals since like 2024, by the way. And the Rabbitohs outscored 2 tries here today. Ewan Aiken goes over the line. Bing, bang. This is too easy for Rabbitohs right now. 10-0 with a kick to come. 10-0 with a kick to come. Clint says, yo, how are we tonight? Yeah, look, I saw your comment in regards to where was I this morning. I've had a pretty hectic day where I've been a couple of days where I've been traveling from Nha Train to Danang, and I just wasn't able to get on for the games last night. So I'll be live for the Japan versus Sweden game and also the Australia versus Paraguay game. But Brandon Smith, a nice run. Great ball to Ewan Aiken, and Ewan Aiken punches over for a try time. I think that's who. I think, Clint, you're the one who commented saying, where am I for the Spain game? If I'm wrong, well, you are him now. But 15 minutes in, 10-0 with a kick to come. Well, Rabbitohs, you want a big old win here. Jess says, morning, I'm late. Get around your Jess. And Nate says, big fella Gaz will be enjoying a nice bacon and Vinny Santa, a sanger in the heat. Bless him. And he needs to get a grip of himself, the old Gary. He needs to get a grip of himself, the old vinegar and bacon. I tell you what, just ask Jess her thoughts. That's what you got to think about. Have anybody besides Jess here, has anybody else tried the old bacon and vinegar like Gary was trying to tell you? I'm not doing it. The only time I'll do it is if I'm in England and he's making me a bacon and vinegar sandwich. I'm not doing it, really. I'm just not doing it until he makes it for me. 15 minutes in. I'd like a 1-1 draw and a 2-0 turkey. Yeah, well, guess what, Seb? You're a turkey. We're going to see in 5 minutes because, no, we don't want a 1-1 draw. We want to win just for the momentum. So you're a turkey, Seb, and have that for the 1-1 draw. How about that one, Seb? How about that one? We'll see you in 5 minutes, sir. You get some Australian pride. You get some Australian pride behind yourself right damn well now, Seb. How dare you suggest that you want a 1-1 draw? Even though it doesn't really matter to us, and a 1-1 draw is fine. But I want to win. I want to win because then we get to play the second place team from Iran, New Zealand, Belgium, and Egypt. And I fancy us, actually genuinely fancy us against any of those 4 teams right now. Because Belgium don't look good. Iran, I definitely think we can beat them. New Zealand, we haven't lost to in over 20 plus years. And Egypt are very beatable. They are a very beatable outfit. Second tackle now for the Rabbitohs. They'll beat the 15. The only one we might go with favourites against Iran. I think we'll be favourites against New Zealand and Iran, but we would be underdogs for sure against Belgium or Egypt. But I don't think it would be much between us and Egypt. I don't. Peter says, I did bacon and vinegar. Tastes good. Just a couple of drops. Works well. You need help too, Peter. That's what you need. Fit tackling out for you too. And he says, sounds revolting. David Watson says, betting has draw. Favourite tomorrow. $2.20. Haven't seen that so far. Again, we've never lost to Paraguay. Never. Oh, Brandon Smith is coming in here with a belter of a match right now. That's a huge hit there for the big old Brando. Second tackle here at the 25 for the Eels. If we finish third and qualify for round 32, I think we play Germany. I think it's either Germany or France or Norway or someone like that. And it's just terrible. We will get awfully slaughtered by Erling Haaland. I don't think... I think we will play France quite well, but ultimately we'd lose 3-1. Maybe even 3-0. 6 again for the Parramatta Eels. They'll go to the left-hand side. Sean Russell now at the 40 on first tackle. That should be 6 again, to be fair. But first tackle now, Tony Kotonga. He's going to be 30 metres away from the line. Second tackle. First attacking opportunity of the game here for the Eels. Rabbitohs have had all the ball so far. But yeah, we play... I really think we get slaughtered by Norway, man. Mitchell Moses out to... Isai Yong. He's 15 metres out, 4 tackle. 2 try scorers so far. Ryu was... Cody Walker and Ewan Aiken. Left-hand side, over the top. Josh Adokar. Josh Adokar has to cut back in the inside. Good scramble here for the Rabbitohs. It'll be 5 metres out, fit tackle. Good scramble. I would say so, Jess. I would say so. But they do have players out, so you've got to be a little bit careful of that. And the Eels do have a 250th game here for Moses. Apparently, Moses never won a milestone game. Eels here, Brian Kelly. Rabbitohs have run into each other, and I'm pretty certain this is a try time here for the BK, the Brian Kelly man. This would not have been a try had the Rabbitohs not run into each other here. If the Rabbitohs had not run into each other, this actually would have been stopped. But Brian Kelly will score, and it's 12 points to 4 with a kick to come here for the Eels. 12 points to 4. Now, the kick on the last play, Kapa Tuolungi is going to knock this ball back. This is pretty poor here from the Rabbitohs. They just collide with each other. A big ball over the top there from Moses. Wasn't really doing anything, but BK steps inside, and then Jai Gray and Cody Walker run into each other. Jai Gray would have been able to make the tackle. Jai Gray would have been able to make this tackle had Cody Walker not gotten his way. Rocks and Diamonds, BK. Get around the BK. Get around the BK. Ryan says, if you were adding vinegar to anything, there is something wrong with you. You wouldn't drink it. Well, hey, listen. I do like salt and vinegar chips. I do like a salt and vinegar chips. The old pink salt and vinegars, they're always pretty good. What was it? Oh, 38 degrees today. Yeah, Seb was telling us before about 40 degrees in England. And Nate says, I think so, Jess. I went over 10.5 rabbits and over 6.5 eels first half. I'm learning from you. Yeah, well, yeah, you are, because that's the kind of bet Jess would be doing. It is raining a lot here, which usually you would think is a low scorer, but it's not showing that right now. So 19 minutes in, and Mitchell Moses is going to slap it on through over the black dot. It is 12 points to 6 with 19 minutes gone. Jerry says, vinegar on hot chips is a thing. Yeah, my mum loves vinegar on chips, man. Like when she orders chips, like chicken and chips or something like that, she douses it in vinegar. And I said, you're nuts. Like she actually douses it, the fries in vinegar. But I can accept that. Like I can accept the vinegar on chips kind of deal. But the vinegar on bacon just doesn't get me going. I tell you what, been getting on the plain sea salt chips recently. Something about them recently, I don't know. We'll get on the salt and vinegar chips. Do it in honour of Gary. How about that? So the Eels now will get this ball here at the 3. I need a couple more results so Scotland can piss off back home, Seb says. Man, Scotland are gone. I think they're, -3 or something like that? Balsamic vinegar on bruschetta. Well, there's the Italian in you, Brenton. The bruschetta. The balsamic vinegar on a bruschetta. Second tackle here for Parramatta. Luca Moretti not on the field yet. And the Eels will get taken down to the 30. Wait for Luca Moretti to come on the field here with the balsamic vinegar and a chip. Fourth tackle now at the 35 for the Parramatta Eels. 20 minutes gone here in the first half. 20 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 12-6 the Rabbitohs. What does Gary have to do with salt and vinegar chips? Because he is always demanding about vinegar and bacon, and we keep saying you're a nut job. And we've had people in the chat try it, and they've also called him a nut job. Rabbitohs get this ball. Oh, that's a bullshit penalty. Just Jared Sutton, that's a bullshit penalty. He's gone through with the tackle. I want to see this again. Ewan Aiken. I don't really agree, though. Like, he's completing the tackle. they're saying kickers exposed. They do call this, but like it's like, what do you want Ewan Aiken to do there? At the end of the day, he was making the tackle as the kick was coming in. But it probably is the right call. Yeah, South Africa took them and correct. You took South Africa. Now, fish and chips, not time I'd have vinegar on chips. I would not have vinegar on chips during a fish and chip session, but my mum would, and it's just weird to me. Just weird. Yeah, definitely not our favourite rabbit there up the Bunnies. But you are a Bunnies fan, and you are here, so we'll give you that. Second tackle now for the Eels at the 13. And they go to the right. And Jack DeBellin, 6 again here for the Eels. A couple of interesting calls to get back into this. They go to the right to Tuivasa. He's going to be just short of that 2 metres out, second tackle. At the back to Mitchell Moses. Moses gets it across. Here's Volkman. Iongi. Adokar. Oh, no, Adokar. No. Joshy, no. Over the sideline, Rabbitohs ball to 10. Adokar. Oh, well, they're saying this is off Tails Duncan last. Yeah, well, it actually is off Tails Duncan last. Still was never making that, so he probably should have tried to cut back inside, but it is Eels ball here, fresh to the 6 coming up. Rises Blaze with the accent, Mr. International. Listen, from Sicily. You know, I just put on an Australian accent. This is my actual accent from Sicily. I got to the right, Jack the Bell, and I give it off to the look. Moretti, here he is, the Italian stallion. Look, Moretti. Oh, it's actually Jack Williams, by the way, so I should have put the Australian accent back on. They go to the right, and it's going to be 1280. And if you think that that's not like an Italian accent, I promise you, one of my best mates, one of my good friends, is actually Italian from Sicily. And he sounds like that, bro. He does. Especially when he's arguing about like wine or arguing about food. If you want to hear a true, genuine, like powerful Italian accent, just argue with them about food and they'll come out with a very strong accent. Third tackle. And now Volkman's going to get the offload away here, back towards the 20. Harrison Edwards, then off to Kamatualangi. Kamatualangi then gets up to Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's on for a Diamonds game maybe here. Fourth tackle for the Eels. They're 8 metres away. They roll it back. They get it across here to Mitchell Moses. Then off to Jack DeBellin. DeBellin short ball into the line. Jack Williams. 6 again. Get your hand off of your pants, Jared Sutton. Eels now 2 metres away from the line. It's Jack DeBellin. DeBellin's going to roll this ball back to Mitchell Moses. He's going to drop the ball there. Ball don't lie, is it, Sutton? Ball don't lie, Sutton. Ball don't lie. You can force feed 6 against down the Eels' throats all you like, but that's ridiculous. 6 against Grimier. He has given them multiple 6 agains on the line just then. Even wait till fifth tackle. And then there comes the Eels' error there. Ball don't lie. Like I said, say New York pizza is the ultimate pizza and it's on. Even though Chicago is my American home, like Chicago is my American city, I will say blasphemous things here, and I will say that I prefer a New York pizza than a deep dish. Sue me. Chicago is just simply better than New York. However, I do prefer a New York pizza over a Chicago deep dish. I know it's blasphemous. I know. I really should slap myself in the face. But I have to say it. I have to be honest here, man. I have to be honest here. So first tackle now for Parramatta, and they're going to be at the 13 on their own side of the field. Dragon says yes to Pineapple. Nah, you're getting timed out. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Look, I love you. Appreciate for tuning in. We'll see you in 5 minutes, mate. Pineapple on pizza, you're getting timed out. You're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not going down this path. Actually, you know what, moderators? Whoever's asked about Pineapple on pizza, you can get time them out as well. Third tackle here at the 35 of the Eels. Pineapple on pizza. Grow up. Just grow up. Soon you'll be calling it a Palmer. Fourth tackle at the 50. Yes, mark my words. I do follow basketball. Follow one of the worst teams in the NBA. But hopefully we're making some good moves now. With the Chicago Bulls. Fifth tackle at the 45. I lived in Chicago, man. Do you think I can win my bet under 18.5 first half? I'm going to say no chance. I hope you win it, but I'm going to say no chance here. It's 18 points already, and there's still 15 minutes to go here. Eels will get the ball here, and then they'll drop the ball, and it's going to be 0 tackle for the Rabbitohs, and Jai Gray. He's going to step on the inside. He's away here, Jai Gray. Oh, taking over the 30 just. Thanks no Greek Blaze, but it would piss an Italian off. Oh, knock on from the Rabbitohs. The Eels are going to get the ball here at the 35. Knock on. No, forward pass. Sorry, not knock on. Forward pass. What do you think about the Bears moving in Indianapolis? Not my team. Let's put every other Chicago franchise except for the Bears. Marcel says, players getting thirsty now. Where's the hydration break? Too long without a hydration break for sure. Yeah, Alex Johnson with a 4 pass there. That was poor. That was definitely forward. All you have to do is ask them about pineapple on pizza. That gets them going. Oh, okay. So no, you don't get timed out because you're just suggesting that, but you're right. Or if you break the pasta. They hate that, man. If you snap the pasta, they'll lose their minds. They'll honestly create a world war over pasta. And that's going to hit the grass here for Mitchell Moses. Jack Williams. And Jack Williams will be about 24 metres away. His second tackle. Got a soft spot for the Chicago Bulls. You guys signed Lockie Olbrich from my Illawarra Hawks. Get around the Chicago Bulls. And as an Australian, you got to get around Josh Goody. Giddy up, baby. Kelma Tuolangi. He's going to be at the 15 on third tackle. 12 degrees in Parramatta. A hydration break is really needed. Absolutely. It was like when they were saying that Qatar needed a hydration break when it was 19 degrees in San Francisco. Qatar needed a hydration break at 19 degrees. That did me with the commentary. That really did me. The Qataris needed a hydration break at 19 degrees. And then we looked at Doha and it was 41 degrees at the time. Oh, Isaiah Yongi's going to be taking out the 5. Jeez. I thought the Eels could have scored then. Fifth tackle. 5 metres away. They give it out back to Mitchell Moses. Moses kicks this one across and the Rabbitohs grab it. Tells Duncan. He's going to be taking the in goal though, so it's going to be a dropout coming on up. You are a Lions fan, though. I am a Lions fan, sir. Bretton said, let's try and keep this chat as much about rugby league as we possibly can. Obviously, we have diversified into different sports and whatnot. FIFA World Cup's kind of okay, just not too heavily. But let's try and keep this chat as much about rugby league as we possibly can. That's not just for you, Ryan. That's just in general. Get some Parramatta water for the hydration break. Look, it's the only way forward. You know, it does. It heals people, mate. Just like the Gungies. You know, the Parra River does heal people. I'm on a hydration break. Love it. I'm going to have a good old beer brewski tonight down by the beautiful beach here in Da Nang. It's very similar to the Gold Coast. It's not as much Gold Coast as it looks on pictures, but it definitely is look very similar to the Gold Coast here in Da Nang. Mitchell Moses out to the left. Short ball. Wow, that is an amazing tackle there from Tallis Duncan. I cannot believe the Rabbitohs have prevented a try just then. That should have 100% been a try to the Eels. But Tallis Duncan has just had one of the great try savers. That is huge. That is huge. He nearly took him over the sideline as well. Out the back to Mitchell Moses. Here we go. Jordan Samrani. Selfish, bro. Had to pass that ball to BK. That was selfish from Jordan Samrani. Fifth tackle now. Get it out the back to Mitchell Moses, who knocks the ball on. Parramatta, that all comes down to Jordan Samrani being selfish. And also, Mitchell Moses, please shut your mouth and give him the ball. You've literally just knocked the ball on. What are you complaining about, Mitchell? All he does is complain. Mitchell Moses, please shush and allow the game to progress because there is nothing wrong with what just happened besides you knocking the ball on. Jordan Samrani has been tackled in a completely legal tackle. He then gets up. Even if you had have called that a 6 again, they pass the ball back into Mitchell Moses, who has knocked the ball on, and he still finds a way to complain about something. There is nothing wrong about anything we've just seen there, Mitchell Moses, except for the pass to you that you've knocked the ball on. Here's a penalty to the Rabbitohs, and that is a high tackle. Jordan Samrani has had an absolute stinkfest in this last 2 minutes here. And it's going to be a penalty to the Rabbitohs. What is he complaining about, bro? Kochi says, I got Aiken, Kelly, try scorers needed Katonga to score. Katonga, yeah, that's not a bad shout. Well, I wouldn't drink it, Largan. It's reserve of para players. Cuck things. Literally the Draymond Green of the NRL literally complains everything. He does complain a lot. What's his thoughts on Titans being favourites tomorrow game? I agree with it being favourites. That doesn't mean I like it. I don't like that the Titans are favourites there. Kilometon with a good offload. And I'll bring this ball here to the 50 on its first tackle. 10 minutes to go the first half here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I always find when the Titans are favourites, it's just because we've been conditioned this way, right? It's a good thing. It's a good sign. It means that people are believing in us. But every time we're favourites, we always lose. So I don't like it, but I agree with the rating. I do agree that we have... Like, Bulldogs are unwatchable right now. Bulldogs have been unwatchable. In the last 3 weeks, the Titans have been enjoyable to watch. High-scoring game against the Tigers, controversial, but whatever. A last seconds winner with Keanu Kenny against the Broncos, and a last second winner with Zane Harrison against the Panthers. You know, the Titans have been very exciting recently, and they've been able to win that game against the Panthers, who the Warriors couldn't beat a similar team. Short ball for the Rabbitohs. That's a knock on from South Sydney. So the Eels are going to bring this ball back out here to the 10. I could have argued that Telstung was maybe tackled earlier there, but I think it was fine. So the Titans are very watchable. We're playing some enjoyable footy. I can't trust him. The Bulldogs, they're unwatchable, mate. They are quite literally unwatchable. Even their most passionate Dogs fans, who I know their creators, like Emilio and Touchline Boys and you know, Google and whatnot, you know, they say, I don't know, I haven't spoken to Emilio about it, but, you know, the other guys, they're all pretty adamant that this Bulldogs team is unwatchable. So Parramatta now at the 20 on third tackle. Titans need to keep playing in the Chargers jersey undefeated. I love the Titans colours. I do. I love the Titans colours. However, I do actually like this Chargers concept more. I do. Fourth tackle here for the Eels of the 40. I do like the Chargers colours more. I think you can do more with it too. I really do love it. I really do love the colours. It's got nothing to do with the undefeated stuff because we're not undefeated in it. We're lost in Magic Round with it. It's just to do with the fact that I genuinely love the colour scheme. So first tackle now. First tackle. And Edward Corsi, second tackle here at the 30. Wise versus Finns. That's going to be a great game, man. Really enjoyable game. I ultimately think right now, form-wise, I'd probably look towards the Dolphins. But I do fancy the Waz to win it. But I think form-wise, you'd probably be saying the Dolphins should win that. Form-wise. Oh, is that going to be a tackle without the ball again? No, that's just going to be a knock-on in for the Rabbitohs, and the Eels will get this ball at the 42. So the person who had that under 18.5, it actually may come off here. Eagles is definitely Dolphins. Well, definitely is not the right word at all. No, that was a great time tackle there from Kamatulagi. That was unbelievable time tackle. I agree, leave the blue and gold for Para, blue and purple for us. It's not even about that. I just think, I just prefer the colour scheme. All right, so Eels, if they can score here, well, it's going to be all tied up going into the break. They go to the left-hand side, and it's Sean Russell of the 45 on first tackle. Retro charges solid back to the roots, brings that energy back. Well, it's not even roots. Again, it's not the same franchise. It's not the same organisation. The Titans are not a part of the Chargers' history. They're just throwing it back to a Gold Coast time. And this isn't going to happen. This is all just hypotheticals right now. But they're just throwing back to a time on the Gold Coast of a previous team. It was a previous team. It had nothing to do with the Titans. Nothing, besides the location. First tackle for the Eels, and they'll go to Dylan Walker. Walker underneath to Jack Williams, and Williams will be 10 metres out, second tackle. What does blue and orange have anything to do with any part of this conversation? Kitiona Katonga is going to be at the 3 minutes out. What does blue and orange have anything to do with the Titans? Third tackle. It's Ronald Volkman. Volkman now to Dylan Walker. Walker runs this ball on the line. He's going to be 4 metres out. Fourth tackle. Eels on the line here. Talon the Silver short ball. Jack Williams. Oh, he's so close. 1 metre out. Fifth tackle. Talon the Silver goes short side of Moses. Moses then to Isaiah Yongi. I really don't know what Parramatta were trying there. I really don't understand what they were trying at all. And it's going to be Rabbitohs ball at the 5. At the end of the day, it's only 5 metres out, but that didn't make sense for what the Eels were doing. That didn't make any sense at all. So first tackle now at the 10. And Tallis Duncan brings it out to the 15 on second tackle. Cameron Murray comes off the field here. And Alex Johnston, he'll take it to the 25 on the third tackle. Nate says that was a shithouse set. It was awful considering that it was a great opportunity for them to tie this game up going into half time. It wasn't even the Rabbitohs defending amazingly. It was just that the Eels just threw nothing at them, and that short side flank was awful. To be fair, the Eels didn't nearly score on one of the plays, but it was good defense from Rabbitohs to prevent it. The Eels will get this ball to the 20, to the 25, to the 30 here on first tackle. Isaiah Yongi, he'll just get taken down to the 30. Waz go put 13 plus on the Finns. Waz on a level above. I'm going to disagree with you, man. I don't think that the Waz are a level above right now. And also, you know, every time Waz fans come in here getting extremely confident about a game, like, it doesn't usually go too pretty for them. So I'd be very careful about it. Like, at the end of the day, the Warriors can absolutely win that game, but it's at Suncorp Stadium. The Dolphins are on form. I can see the Warriors leading early, and then the Dolphins coming back over the top of them, which is something the Warriors have done for a couple of years now. Again, I could easily see the Wars winning that game. It's a 50-50 game, but I would lean with the form right now. I would lean with the form. And the form for the Dolphins is better than the form for the Warriors. That doesn't mean that I think the Dolphins win, but I'd say it's probably more likely the Dolphins win than the Warriors do, based off what we've seen. Alex Johnson brings us ball to the 25, and this is coming from a neutral perspective. At the end of the day, I'd actually probably prefer to see the Warriors win the game. I really would, but it's very difficult to trust the Warriors, mate. Very, very difficult. Like, that Sharks game, we had so many Warriors fans coming in here saying guaranteed win. You know, they got no Nico, they got no Fanua Blake, they got no Britt Nakora, they got no chance, and then the Sharks came in and slapped them. Dave Fafita gives it, well, not slap, but you know what I mean. Brendan Smith brings it to the 50 on 4 tackle. He said the exact same thing about the Sharks. Oh, was it Cotte who said the same thing? Was it Cotte? 51-metre gain there for the Rabbitohs. Very, very good. It's a perfect set. They whack this ball down into the 5. No one really chasing this here for the Rabbitohs, though. Dale Martinez will next 100th game versus the Dolphins tomorrow. Yeah, look, those milestone things don't really do anything. Like, some teams it can. Like, with the Storm it can, but I wouldn't back it in with the Wars. For example, tonight's Mitchell Moses' 250th game for the Eels, and look what the Eels are doing right now. Wars were robbed a bit. No, they were not. No, we're not going down this path. No, please don't do this. You know, Warriors have actually been it's been really nice to not hear them complaining about every loss this year. It'd be really nice if he could just accept a loss for the first time in history. That was a forward pass for sure, by the way, here from the Eels. And Volkman, great try-saving tackle here from the Rabbitohs. I can't believe that wasn't a forward pass there from the Eels. They go short. I can't believe the Eels haven't scored here. They've let the ball go to the back, out of car, back onto the inside. Sean Russell with the ball. Jared Sutton has missed it. That's ended up being a 7-tackle set. Holy fuck me, drunk Eels. I can't believe I just watched this. I don't believe it. I don't believe what I've just watched. I've actually just lost my mind. I've actually genuinely... I actually can't believe that I just watched what I just watched from Parramatta. I genuinely cannot believe what I've just watched from Parramatta. One, why do you go short? And then two, what is Kitiona Katonga doing here? Kitiona Katonga passed the ball, bro, to Mitchell Moses. Oh my gosh. Doing football the power away. Definitely doing football Parramatta away with that one. 0 tackle now. First tackle for the Rabbitohs at the 30. There goes my 6.5. Eels never again. I can't believe they didn't score there. All you have to do is pass right. You just got to pass to the other side of the field. We say it all the time after a break. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rabbitohs went up the other end of the field and scored on this set now because of that. Usually you see when teams mess up so badly like that, they'll go and concede. And it's still a long way for the Rabbitohs to go, but you do see it a lot. Third tackle, Dave Fafita. He'll run this ball to the 45. Gets the offload away to Tallis Duncan. And then Tallis Duncan has lost the ball, so forget that. That was bad. That was bad, Daniel. That was bad, mate. 0 tackle over the Eels at their own 38. They go to Isaiah Yongi, and Isaiah Yongi with the 42 now, first tackle. It says, let's go the Rabbitohs. Well, it's not been the most impressive of halves from either team here. Dylan Walker's going to offload that ball at the back. It's going to hit the grass. Grass and McGrath having a field day here. Second tackle over the Eels, the 48. It's a great quote, Peter. Laurie says, actually, you can believe it. You just wish they should have scored. I know what you're trying to say. Oh, that's a forward pass. Oh, my gosh. If Jared Sutton had missed that one, I might have actually blown up. I might have punched my own face. But it is going to be a forward pass here against the Eels. Never seen worse attack than my team, the Doggies. Okay, so yes, we know you're a Doggies fan, Azu. And also, secondly, yeah, no, your attack is very bad. It is very, very bad. I have seen worse attack than the 2026 Doggies, and that would be the 2021 Doggies. Yep. They do beat them out in that department. Grass with a 39% possession. It's unbelievable stuff, Jake. It's really impressive, really. Really impressive. So first tackle now for the Rabbitohs, the 45. Why is nobody talking about Jai Arrow? Well, why do you need it? Jai Arrow's had plenty of discussions. Jai Arrow's been brought up many, many times. Our life doesn't revolve around talking about 24/7. It's in heartbreaking circumstances, and we've spoken about it. And July is going to be a massive thing next month. But what do you expect us to be sitting here and talking about in the entirety of the game? Like, with all due respect to Jai, he's an amazing dude, and we all wish nothing but the best for him. But like, what do you mean? Why is nobody talking about Jai Arrow during the middle of a Rabbitohs Eels game? And it's like, we're not just going to be speaking about him 24/7, with all due respect. Rabbitohs kick this ball here through to the 5, and it's going to be the Eels now who will take it down at the 3. That'll be half time. Again, love Jai, but like, what's the point of making a comment saying, why is nobody talking about him? Everyone's spoken about him many, many, many a times. Many, many, many a times over the last few weeks. But anyway, it is half time here, and it is 12-6 to the South Sydney Rabbitohs at the half. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. It's been a close game. The quality has been kind of what you would expect. You would probably expect that this was what was going to happen, with the error rates being significantly up there. But it is pouring down rain, so you do have those excuses, but these two teams definitely can come in through with a couple of errors. But halftime, let's get into the stats and see how it's all playing out. Obviously, thumbs up and subscribe. So the Eels are on 6, the Rabbitohs are on 12. Brian Kelly with a try for the Eels and Mitchell Moses with the conversion, while the Rabbitohs, Cody Walker and Ewan Aiken with the tries at very early doors, and Trill Siegwell with both of those back-to-back. Jess says, Jai Arrow's in our hearts and we all wish him well in his battle. He's got lots of support from around the world. Absolutely, he does. The reason why I respond like this is because it's like the person has commented that to be like, well, why are you not talking about him? Like, that's disrespectful. No, it's not. We've all spoken about him. We all love him. And, you know, like, I've met Jai many times when he was playing with the Titans and all that kind of jazz. And everyone loves Jai, but it just doesn't make sense to just constantly bring it up 24/7. But you can bring it up quite frequently. You can definitely bring it up when, you know, the circumstances matter, but July is going to be the one where everyone's talking about him throughout pretty much the whole year. And that's why it annoys me, because it's just like this person obviously just wanted to get a reaction. But the possession is 52% here for the Eels, 48% for the Rabbitohs, so very, very equal. It was actually really strongly in favour of the Rabbitohs in the first 20. And then or first 15 maybe, and then obviously the Eels have really dominated the possession since then, and now it's 52-48. I think it actually got to 57% for the Eels once, and it was 57% for the Rabbitohs once, and now it's 52-48, so very, very close there. The time possession is 14 minutes and 23 seconds for the Eels, 13 minutes and 58 seconds here for the Rabbitohs. So 25 minutes threshold is what you're looking for. That's 25, 26, 27. It's about 28 and a half minutes there. Very, very good. That's very, very healthy numbers. It's above the 25-minute threshold. And we go to the completion rate. So 80% is what you're looking for. The Eels at 75% is not quite there. Not quite there. Probably shouldn't have removed that one there, Seb. I don't know why you've removed that comment. That's a bit of an interesting one to remove. But 75% here, not quite there. That is below the 80% for the Eels. It's not too awful, but it's still not where you want to be. And then you got the Rabbitohs at 80%, which is right on the dot of where you want to be. 17 from 21. Well, you want to be on more, but at the end of the day, you're hitting the marker for sure. And then we go down to the attack. 105 runs for the Eels for 941 run meters. No, actually not. We'll get to that. So 106 for 941 is 119 run meters behind the 10 meters an average per run that you're looking for. That is a pretty big gap. It's nothing too crazy, though. We've seen some teams with like a 250 behind, but they're 119 behind. Whilst the Rabbitohs, they're at 91 runs for 92 runs for 837 metres, which means that they are about 80 metres behind the 10 metres an average per run that you're looking for. So if the Rabbitohs had those extra 14 runs, now it's 93 for 849. So if the Rabbitohs had the extra 13 runs, you would probably be expecting them to be at about the 970, 80, maybe 1,000 mark. I don't think they'd get to the 1,000 mark by any means. They'd probably more so be looking at the 960, 970, which would put them above by about 20 to 30 on what the Eels have got. But it's a lot better from the Rabbitohs with ball in hand. They're doing more with it ultimately, because it's only separated by about 90 metres right now, and that's with 13 runs less. You know, so yeah, they'd be pretty happy with that. And then post-contact meters is 311 for the Eels, so above 300. You're never complaining about that. And 261 here for the Rabbitohs. So they would have liked to be at 300. That's separated by 50. Now, 13 runs less. They're actually 265. 13 runs does not guarantee 300, but you could argue for it. At the end of the day, the Eels will win the post-contact. Simple as that. And we go to the line breaks. It's going to be 2-2 for both these teams. So obviously, they are both finding a relative amount of line breaks. Nothing crazy, but it's still healthy. Tackle breaks, though, defensively, both these teams have actually been really good here today. So 15 to 17 is the average amount of missed tackles. The Eels have had 16 tackle breaks, so the Rabbitohs have missed an average amount of tackles. The Eels are actually missing a really lackluster amount of tackles. They're not doing too badly at all here. 13 tackle breaks for the Rabbitohs means the Eels defensively are actually holding up quite well. And the average set distance, very close here, but 25 metres and below is pathetic to the stream off. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. Well, the Rabbitohs are at 41.38, so that is in the great category. You are very happy with that one. It is moving and grooving at a really, really good level. And the Eels are at 39.23, so that's the upper end of doing the job category. So it's just doing an okay and fine job, but it's getting close to great. It's separated by 2 metres in average set distance, which is pretty significant in rugby league. But at the end of the day, it's not too far away, right? It's only 2 metres overall. At least both teams are getting a normal amount here. Average play the ball speed, well, again, Rabbitohs with a great category, but at least they're both hitting a marker at the very minimum. Now, the average play the ball speed, 3.19 seconds and below is extremely fast. 3.2 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. 3.8 and above is extremely slow. Well, the Eels are at 3.24 seconds, so that is fast, getting close to extremely fast. It's a really quick play the ball speed there. Gee whiz. A really quick play the ball speed there. And then 3.54 seconds in for the Rabbitohs is on the average category, but separated by 0.30. That's quite a lot in rugby league. And then you go to the offloads, 7 for the Eels, 6 for the Rabbitohs. Healthy number for both teams there. Eels, that's typical for them. Rabbitohs are getting up there. You go to the forced dropouts, 1-1. Kick the Fusel is 40% for the Rabbitohs and 0% here for the Eels. And then you go to the defense, the effective tackle percentage, and both these teams are not hitting the mark. So 85% below is awful. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker, and 90% above is basically perfect. 86.87% here for the Eels is underwhelming. 172 tackles made is in the typical range of the 160 to 180 range. Missed tackles are 14. The average is 15 to 17. So they are below the average. And then the ineffective tackles is 12. The average is 5 to 7. They're at 12, so that's 5 above. So 1 below the average of missed tackles, which is really, really good. But then the 5 ineffective tackles, which is above the average of 7. There's 26 bad tackles with a pretty typical range there of 172. The underwhelming does make sense there because those ineffective tackles really do rise it. But then you go to the Rabbitohs, who are actually slightly better. So 87.28% here. Which is still in the underwhelming category, but it is about 0.3%, 0.4% behind, no, in front of the Eels, sorry. The 199 tackles made is 19 tackles more than the typical range of 160 to 180. 16 missed tackles is right dead smack in the middle of the average of 15 to 17 of the missed tackles, and the ineffective tackles is 13. The average is 5 to 7. So they've got 2 more missed tackles than the Eels, and they've got 1 more ineffective tackle than the Eels. So they've got 29 bad tackles to 26 bad tackles. But the Rabbitohs have also made an extra they've made an extra 27 more tackles than the Eels. So that's why you're seeing that percentage slightly askew there in favour of the Rabbitohs. But they're both defending at a very similar rate, realistically. Now, negative play. Welcome back, Parramatta. 3 and below is really good. 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is awful. But Eels are at 7, so that is in the awful category. That is pretty much what happens every single week. They probably would have scored a couple of tries here today without their errors. And then the 6 errors for the Rabbitohs are still not great, but it's in the average category of 4 to 6. You go to penalties conceded. 2-1 against the Eels, so getting up there for Parramatta, but it's still nothing too awful. Ruck infringements, 2-0 against the Rabbitohs, and inside 10 metres is 3-1 against the Rabbitohs. So it's 5-6 infringements against the Rabbitohs on a whole collective at the moment, compared to the 3 for the Eels. So the Rabbitohs have had double the amount of infringements. so far from what we've seen. And then there's the stats. So realistically, I don't know who to call in this game. I'd probably still fancy the Rabbitohs to win this one, but it is quite close. Completion rates close, possessions close. Runs-wise, the Eels are in front, but also once the Rabbitohs get the same amount of runs, they will go above them. Post-contact meters, once the same amount of runs are made now, you will see the Rabbitohs go above them, you would assume. But it'll be very close. Line breaks is the same. Average set distance is slightly in favour of the Rabbits. Play the ball speeds in favour of the Eels. Offloads is equal. Kick defusal in favour of the Rabbits. Dropouts equal. I'm going to say the effective tackle percentage is equal. And then the errors is basically equal. Penalties conceded. Is the infringements overall is what's separating it against the Rabbitohs, and yet they're still leading by 6. So I'll still take the Rabbitohs from here. But it's a difficult game to read. Mark my words, which game was better, Parramatta versus Titans or Penrith versus Titans this year? Penrith versus Titans. It could have easily been the worst game too, but I'm taking post-game, I'm taking a 1-point win. Pre-game, I'm taking a 50-point win. I know you understand what I'm saying. Naughty Neil says, my nan is from North Queensland. She got 6 toes on her left foot. Well, fair enough. Thank you for letting us know, mate. That was really... when I woke up today, I was actually thinking, I wonder if Naughty Neil's going to tell us about his nan and her 6-toe foot. Clinton says, I hate slow, low-scoring games. I love it when they just go hard and try for try. Yeah, I completely disagree with you, and 99% of long-term rugby league fans disagree with you. I absolutely, adamantly disagree with you. I think that is the worst style of footy, where there is no defense and we're just seeing try for try. It's better for gamblers, and it's better for people who are just trying to involve themselves with the game to win money. But if you love rugby league, then it is the worst case scenario. It is absolutely worst case scenario to see band for band going, try for try going. Absolute worst case scenario. Like, for example, the 42-38 Knights over the Rabbitohs earlier on this year. Whilst it's exciting, it's just shit house rugby league. It really is, because neither team wants to defend. They just want to go for the attack. And, like, that's all well and good, but yeah, not for me. Flames on Games has taken Alex Johnson, try second half. Don't know if he can come if it hits. Well, come on, Alex Johnson. Come on, Alex Johnson. Yeah, I know you love defence. It's not even about loving defence, though. Like, I don't mind a game that's 30-26, but I will despise a game that is 42-38. I will despise a game that is 33-30, and I will despise a game that is 38-36, which is what we've seen from the Titans and Broncos of the years, where we won the game, but also at what cost. I just think it's shit-house rugby league. Like, at the end of the day, I want to see tries scored past good defence. I want to see a good attack find the attacking rhythm past a really strong defence. If you are conceding 30-plus points, that is not good enough defence. It's not. That was a back-and-forth game, though. Again, there is still excitement to be had, but it is still shit footy. It's still an exciting game for the fact that it was close and it went down to the wire, but it was still shit footy at the end of it because neither team wanted to defend. South's defence been impressive, that Duncan saver. How good that goal line been. Benton says, I think Eels. I think from here the Rabbits should still win this game, but it's still very, very close. It's still very, very close. At the end of the day, the Rabbitohs have been able to find a way to be leading this game, and they're the ones obviously desperately trying to keep themselves inside the top 8, and not they'll drop out of the top 8 here today, but they'll put themselves on the edge with the Panthers playing them next week. So it's very important, very, very important they win this game here today. Very important. I'm going to quickly, I'll be back in 2 seconds here, guys. Just give me 1 moment. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. The second half hasn't started yet. It'll start in about a minute or 2. Give me 1 moment. I just realised for the NFL fans in the chat, I was actually wearing my Detroit shirt right now. Forgot about that. Bretton says, I like seeing games where teams lead and chase. Blowouts are a snooze fest or a sloppy drop the ball 12-10 is boring too. Yeah, look, that's right. Yeah, I will say that it's not even about the defense overall as well most of the time, because like a 12-10 can be absolutely dreadful to watch. It can be just absolutely awful to watch a 12-10. For example, if you weren't a Titans fan or a Manly fan, that Manly Titans game a few weeks ago would have just been absolutely horrific to watch. As a Titans fan, I'm just like, we should have won that game. But again, the Arrows killed us. It was very sloppy. And I will make it exciting. Like, I will make that kind of game exciting because of how passionate I am for the Titans and how crazy we'll get here on the stream. But if you're not watching here and you're just watching that as a neutral and you have no affiliation to either Manly or the Titans, you would have thought that game was shit ass, and it finished, 12-10? In the end? So, or 14-12, whatever it was. 14-12 or 12-10. So yeah, those games can be shit too. As it says, I love the game where it's tied but high scoring. Okay, fair enough. Well, the Eels are going to run out here onto the field. So are the Rabbitohs. Ibrahim says, it's kind of like the Raiders and Eels game, to be honest. It was close, but a horrible game. Well, see, Benjamin, I can see you're asking about South Africa. Obviously, this is Rugby League stream, so talk to us about the South Africa, because nobody here cares about South Africa versus, I think it's Canada. Like, no one really cares about it in Rugby League stream. So talk about South Africa versus Canada when we're live for 2 games tomorrow, which is Japan. You don't have to retract your message, bro. But Japan versus Sweden tomorrow and Australia versus Paraguay. We can talk about South Africa and a game against Canada until the cows come home. It's entirely possible they could win that game, to be fair, but we'll talk about that on a football streamer, man. But the second half is underway, and it will be the Eels kicking off to the Rabbitohs. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Cody Walker gets it off to Keon Kolomatangi, and Kolomatangi will bring it out to the 12 on first tackle. But yeah, you didn't have to retract the message, man. Like, you're sweet. The reason why, so a lot of times, if you guys ask repetitive questions that have nothing to do with the context and the conversation, like, sometimes I'll reply to it, but I will intentionally skip over it if it means kind of nothing to the conversation, and you just kind of got to read the room in regards to, I'll read your other comments out, but it's just like, there's a reason why I ignore the South Africa questions, because it has nothing to do with this game, and sometimes we'll bring in other sports, and sometimes we'll talk about other things when the game's a bit more on the boring side or it's a blowout kind of deal, but yeah, we do plenty of football streams, man. We can talk about that. Also good to see Cleese Hart extended his contract as well. Yeah, that's massive, man, because Cleese has been brilliant for us. I remember when he was at a time at this club where everyone used him as a meme and talked shit about Cleese, and I had to back him in, and he was struggling form-wise. But now everyone's happy to see Cleese, re-signed. Curtis Moran re-signed. It's just huge. The big one now is getting Zane, but Zane's never leaving. Like, if we give a contract to Zane Harrison, he is never leaving. It doesn't matter if the Panthers came in or the Warriors came in or the Storm came in or the Broncos came in. He's from the Gold Coast. He grew up as a baby. There's photos of him in Titans jerseys. As a young kid, he was always a Titans fan. I know Zane. I talk to Zane occasionally. I promise you that he will not leave the club as long as they're offering him contracts. So for Titans fans who think, oh man, we've got to lock this contract up quickly, like, for his sake, yes, but it's not. Oh, Eels will catch the ball here. Oh, it's going to be a try to Talent Silver out of nowhere. Rabbitohs have fallen asleep starting the second half. The Eels will score a try out of absolutely nowhere. Talent Silver's got this ball. The Rabbitohs are still in the dressing rooms. The Rabbitohs are still in the dressing rooms. What on earth was that? They just allowed them to catch the ball, offloads the ball to, I think it was Kotonga, and then Talent Silver's going to score right next to the post. What on earth are the Rabbitohs doing here? Ebukosi nowhere near good enough. It was Kitiona Katonga who got the offload, and then Katonga passed the ball into Talent Silver. The Rabbitohs completely... I don't know what Ebukosi is doing. I don't know what he was doing there. But Talent Silver will score out of the post. Just completely random. Rabbitohs still asleep. 2025 Dogs vs Panthers 6-8 is the greatest type of match to watch. Anyone in this chat who prefers high scoring shootout should have a look at the full match replay. Well, it's not like you can be... This is the thing. It's not wrong to enjoy. Like, Clint's not wrong for his opinion. His opinion that he prefers the high-scoring matchups. But I also know Clint loves a bet. So I feel like it's probably because it's easy to win. It's not an insult, Clint. I just know that you love a bit of a cheeky bet. So with that, it's easier to win money on the high scorers. And that's why I feel like you probably do enjoy that more often than not. But it's not wrong to have a different opinion. However, the 8-6 last year from Panthers and Bulldogs was one of my favourite matches in recent memory, yeah. Siegwalt must have a decent conversion rate since he came up and started taking the conversions. He's been brilliant. He's kind of a lock for kicks, man. He's been brilliant. Bretton says Kempy was throwing shade. Was throwing shade the other day, saying the Titans can't keep halves. That was rich of him and uncalled for. So I had to call Kemp out on my Instagram the other day because he said something on his podcast. A lot of people had a gripe with it. I've spoken to Nathan, the guru, since. And he did pull him up on this comment, but he did say that the Dolphins are extremely successful so quickly. Have the Titans ever been successful? And it was just a shit comment, which is just based off of no stats whatsoever, because the Dolphins have been in the comp for 3.5 years. The Titans at the same time frame. We missed the 8 in 2007. They missed the 8 in 2023. We missed the 8 in 2008. They missed the 8 in their second year in the comp 2024. In our third year in the comp, we came third position. Eels will get the sport at the 45. We came third. In their third year in the comp, they missed the 8. And now we're into their fourth year, where they're currently situated in the third, halfway through the year. Well, we still came fourth that year and made a prelim. So it really didn't make sense in the shit comment category. Like, it was a real shit comment with no facts behind it. Now, again, Guru has told me that he kind of held him accountable and backtracked him on that. But I will keep an eye on what Kemp says about the Titans, because I didn't know about this one too, about the Titans can't keep halves. That doesn't even actually make any real sense, because it would be alluding to the Toby Sexton and Tanner Boyd and all this type of stuff going. Now, Toby Sexton went because his form wasn't at the Titans. It wasn't because he got stolen from us. It was because we allowed... Oh, that's a bad play, the ball there. And the Eels... No, it's going to be a penalty here to the Rabbitohs. It's a penalty to the Rabbitohs at the 45 for not being a square marker and grabbing the ball. Toby Sexton wasn't because someone poached him. The Bulldogs poached him. It's because we allowed him to leave. Whether you agree with that or not, we allowed him to leave. Your problem can be with the Titans in regards to their thought process in regards to halves. The Jamal Fogarty situation happened because we decided we were going to bring through Toby, and we were going to try and give him a crack, and then Jamal had an exception towards that. And then obviously went to the Raiders. I could probably look more so towards Jamal than I could anybody else, but it wasn't about that we couldn't keep him. We were actually intentionally looking to go down the Toby Sexton path. And Tanner Boyd's form wasn't great. I love Tanner. You know, I've always had the greatest amount of respect and appreciation. That's a knock on from the Rabbitohs. Eels will get the ball here at the 15 after a scrum feed here. But Tanner's form wasn't good, and we allowed him to go to the Warriors. He went off to the Warriors, and they wanted to get him, so they got him. How can you argue that the Titans can't keep halves? That doesn't make sense, because Toby wasn't a situation of we can't keep him. Somebody came in with a better bid. We let him go. Tanner Boyd was the same thing. Jamal was ultimately our decision too. It was maybe the wrong decision in your perspective, but it was still our decision. So I don't understand the notion from an experienced person to make that kind of comment again. Oh, knock on from the Eels off the first tackle. That's outrageous. So Rabbitohs will get a scrum 20 metres out. Brendan Smith's been brilliant today. You know, Kane Elke form didn't line up and also was injured. We kept Ash Taylor for years and years and years after he signed from the Broncos, and we kept him until, unfortunately, it just wasn't viable to keep him anymore. You know what, Javon Andrews, he goes to the Tigers. So what, is that the only one in recent memory you'd be backing that argument off? So it makes no sense. So I'm now noticing that he is having a bit of a crack here at the Titans, and let's keep him accountable for it. Especially when you're talking to a lot of casuals, man. Let's see if it's more of an intentional thing, because that comment doesn't make sense. The one about the Dolphins doesn't make sense, and very easy to go back at it. So I'm noticing a little bit of a trend here. First tackle leave the Rabbitohs. They got a 6 again, 2 metres out from the line. And they give it out to the right. Here's a chance. Cody Walker tells Duncan, gets away, gives it off, and that's going to be Edward Cossey with the try time for the Rabbitohs in the corner. And it's 16-12 with the kick to come. Edward Cossey will just get in here. They're going to check the sideline, but at the end of the day, Edward Cossey gets in, and they've called it try. Laggers is Kempy bloke in the bar. Yes. Yeah, I got a lot of messages about his podcast recently. But again, all credit to Nathan from Rugby League Guru. You know, he messaged me saying, like, I should have acknowledged that he walked him back a little bit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I will be taking anything back in regards to Kemp. because he does have that responsibility, especially considering he is probably the largest creator in the space. He has to hold himself accountable in regards to what he says. And the same thing goes for me too, but also you guys are very well aware that, well, like if I say something wrong, I'm very, very happy to admit it, but I'm very honest in my thoughts. So if you ask me in regards to the Titans, I'll tell you we've been shitouts this year. We've had some pretty good games recently, but at the end of the day, we've still been shitouts this year. But I feel like he feels that he... Actually, I shouldn't even say that, really. Oops. I shouldn't even say that. I'm not going to speak on behalf of him. But the point of the matter is, long story short, is that you need to be held accountable for things you say. And the first thing is definitely incorrect. And the second one, which you just brought up there, Brenton, is also incorrect. So it's now starting to sound to me like there's more of a targeting action rather than an actual knowledgeable action, because the fact is that he would know in regards to the Dolphins and the Titans and comparing them separately, but he's talking to the casuals and trying to get the shit clicks, the shit laughs there, the easy little laughs. And the second one there, he would also know that internally that doesn't make any sense regarding halves. So he's going to start to be a little bit more careful when he's starting to talk about these things, because just because you are the biggest creator in the scene doesn't mean that everything you say is right, because there's two things right there that are wrong. So that's going to be Latrell Seagwalt from this right wing. Zach says Eels are rubbish. Yeah, well, Zach, look, we're not surprised. We're not surprised. 31 minutes to go here to game. Same thing goes for me. Same thing goes for Guru. Same thing goes for everybody. Everyone's going to be held accountable for what they say. I've been awful for it in the past, but we're all learning. This is what I spoke to Nathan about. We're all learning at the end of the day. Jess says, Nathan, can you ring my boss and tell him I need to go home? I work with no aircon and this weather isn't fun. Is there no aircon even in like office buildings and stuff? Jeez. 11 multis and none are going well. Beck, maybe time to give it up. Oh, Beck says, none of my bets are going well so far this game. Well, there Kosi scores. They missed the kick and it will just be a 4-point game here. Jeez. Yeah, Guru backed the Titans up when he said that. Yeah, exactly right. Which is good to see from him. At the end of the day, you do need someone like that to backtrack it. So first tackle here for the Rabbitohs, and they'll get this ball to the 15. Second tackle. 30 minutes to go of the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Because there's no backtracking from the fact that the Titans have been shitouts throughout their history. But the issue was when you were directly trying to pump up another franchise by using false stats. Because people... Oh, gee whiz, I keep knocking this over. Because people... for some reason, love this comparison between the Titans and the Dolphins because they're the new clubs, right? Fifth tackle at the 45 of the Rabbitohs. They love this comparison, but they don't compare the Titans and Dolphins to when they originally came in. They compare the Titans and Dolphins to now. So, of course, that's going to benefit the Dolphins, who are in a better situation as we currently speak. But if you compare the first 4 years of the Titans to the first 4 years of the Dolphins, it's actually light years between the two successful values there. So to say that the Dolphins are highly successful so quickly, why have the Titans always been shit? It's just a really, really stupid comment. And I expect better from somebody who would absolutely fully be aware of that one, but he's looking for the laughs and the shit clicks, right? Which is what's going to happen if you try to cater to an audience. And that's catering to an audience because that is factually incorrect, and that's unfortunately why you have to call that out. Fourth tackle here at the 50. That's being intellectually dishonest, because I know he knows that that's not true. So Talon De Silva is going to get a 6 again here against the Rabbitohs. That's huge. And Charlie Guymer is going to be at the 42. Actually, was that Charlie Guymer? The number 8 here. Oh, hold on. Let me go make sure of this one. Charlie... oh, no, it might be Luca Moretti. No, it is Luca Moretti. Yeah. Look, Charlie Guymer is the 19 today. It's Luca Moretti. Friends, that's the point Guru made based on the timeline when they first come in. Yeah, well, Guru watches all my stuff. Like, he would have seen me defending them quite a bit in regards to this. The Eels now, Talon De Silva, get a good offload to Ronald Volkman. Volkman gets it across, and they'll be at the 5 on fifth tackle. I'm in the Chiller Island to Tesco hiding. Fair enough. Talon De Silva gets it across here. Dylan Walker. Volkman. Izayongi. Intercept here. The Rabbitohs. Edward Kosey's away. He's not scoring a try, though. He's not going to be fast enough. But Kosey, he may score a try. No way. No way. No way. Look at the big man go. Look at the big man pump his legs. He'll be taking it up to 25. Good run there from Edward Kosey. Pump the ball left and you score here, Rabbitohs. Pump the ball left and you score. They go. Jai Gray gets it all the way across here. Here's a chance. Cody Walker. They give it across to Tels Duncan. He steps back onto the inside. And now you spread it back out to the right. You tire him out. That was a good tackle there from Kelma Tuolangi, though. Now you spread it back out to the right-hand side. Ashton Ward, Cameron Murray. You've got to pass that again, man. You score 15 metres away. They give it across here to Ashton Ward. Ward at the back. Jai Gray. Here we go. And they pass it out to the right, and they pass it through for a try. That is going to be a try time for Tallis Duncan and the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and they will lead 20 points to 12 with a kick to come. Once you get through, you pass that ball to the opposite side. You get tackled, you pass that ball to the opposite side. Bing, bang, boom. Try time. But to Edward Cossey, my goodness me, God of the day. I think he had a bit more speed than was when he was at the Warriors, to be fair, but he's a big boy here, the Rabbits, and he does a good job to get to the 25, and then it's really smart here from the Rabbitohs to spread that ball to the other side of the field, and then as soon as Cameron Murray gets taken down in the middle there, they just spread it again to the right, and they're exhausted, the Eels. They've had to run 100 metres back, and then Jai Gray, Tallis Duncan, beautiful ball through, and he will score. All set up by Edward Cossey with the interceptor. 20 to 12 with a kick to come. Mark my words, as Titans are not that bad. People clown them for absolutely no reason. Even if they win, people make excuses on why they win. Correct, but to be antagonist to your comment, and to look at it more from their side, the Titans have never given you a reason to be positive about them. This is coming from a Titans fan, right? So the Titans have never given you a reason to be positive about them, so it makes sense. I expect better from Kemp, but it makes sense. Oh, they're going to check this for a no try here. The bunker's coming up. I expect better from Kemp, but for the general fans and from fans who don't have like a content creation platform kind of deal, they're going to say he maybe got held up here, Tallis Duncan. From the general fans, I think that, of course, they're going to say that the Titans are the easy beats. The Titans are the ones who've never been successful, even though they just... Oh, there's a kick to the head. No, this is a penalty try here. This is a penalty try. This is about to be an 8-point potential try. This is a potential 8-point try, guys. The penalty try coming up. Yeah, he's kicked him in the face. It's unfortunate, but he's kicked him in the face. Copped a boot in the face, and it's a very unusual one, and that is a try time. So it is 20 to 12, but it could be 24 to 12 any moment now. So that missed kick, as long as they get this kick, like the kick from in front is obviously guaranteed. George Britton said, go Rabbits. Well, you'll be happy now. A potential 8-point try if he can get this kick from the wide angle. Sean Russell on report as well. Yeah, he raises the boot, just not the play. Like, unfortunately, that is shit. It's not intentional. He's not trying to kick him in the face, guys. But he is just trying to block that ball from going down. He's nowhere near it. It's not intentional, but with that being said, it's a penalty try. It's definitely an 8-point try. Potential 8-point try is what we should say. Dirty dog. Yeah, again, it's a dirty play, but in the same sense, I don't think that he's intentionally trying to kick him in the head there. I think he's trying to intentionally kick the ball out of his hands. And wow, he's missed that kick badly. Well, at least he'll still get 6 points from it, but that's a waste. That's a massive waste. He's been really good kicking-wise, but that was poor. That was poor. It'll still be a 10-point lead, but that's a bad miss because he could have made it 12. So 22 points is what they'll have because they get the free kick from right in front. They could have had 24. Permission to go to the pub, Jess, and enjoy the aircon. Yeah, absolutely. Permission granted there. But anyway, he's going to get this kick, so it's going to be 22 to 12 with 26 minutes to go. So anyway, to go back to that point, the Titans, they have been shit. We have been shit. The club has rectified... Well, the club, I'm sure, has acknowledged this. I'm not going to tell you how I know this, but I know that Matty Johns has been... He's not happy at not everybody... And I'm trying to figure out how to put this... He's not happy with how certain members on the club, not in the team, don't seem to actually care about the footy and it's just a job to them. And there was apparently maybe a bit of a blow up throughout this season about that. So you can see that he obviously cares. He's coming in with the right intentions and he's trying to adjust some things there at the Titans. But that is something that I've complained about for years now. I've said that there are certain members in the staff that don't care about this club as much as they, for example, I care, or as much as, say, a guy like JC cares. I also know that there is issues right now in the club in regards to AJ's ego. So, yeah, there are things that are changing, but the fact is they're changing, and that means that previously it's been poor. And still to this moment, it's still poor. Right inside, Talis Duncan, and Duncan's get this ball at the 50. So I back Matty completely with that, because I have acknowledged that for a long time now. I even said this to the club, and obviously they didn't care. But a lot of the staff don't actually, I wouldn't even say a lot, but there are definitely staff members who don't genuinely care about the results, and they just genuinely care about their job, and their job should rely upon the overall well-being of this club. Results-wise, you should care. Eels knock on here, the 22. Dane Jennings on NRL debut, by the way. He comes onto the field. 25 minutes to go, another knock on here from the Eels at the 20. Brenton says, yeah, Matty would be able to sniff people out like that. So I know a lot more, but I'm not going to go and just explain everything. But just know that if you are a Titans fan or actively watching the Titans situation, just know Matty Johns has come in and is very intentionally trying to shift culture away from the staff, let alone the players. And I know there are issues with AJ as well, but there is definitely issues with the staff, and things are adjusting internally. So again, I'll never say sources and whatnot, but they also gave me permission to speak about this. First tackle here at the 15, and Brandon Smith's going to go to the left-hand side. And now they'll be about 8 minutes out, second tackle. Mark my words, the only coach I'd clown on is Shane Flanagan. He was saying we can still win the comp. No, he wasn't. Third tackle at the 3. He actively said pre-season, I don't believe this team makes the 8. Or I don't believe this team wins the comp, or something like that. We can't win the comp. I think he said those words. Fourth tackle now at the 3, unless he tried to change his tune because of how much he got criticised there. Rabbitohs left-hand side now, and Latrell Siegwald, he's going to the sideline. He's lost the ball back on the inside, and the Eels will get taken down here at the... That's... What? I don't know about that. I don't think you can... I might argue this is a second effort. Jess says, have we got some good games? Yeah, fantastic games, Jess. Tomorrow we've got Titans Bulldogs and Roosters Broncos. Very interesting. Titans Bulldogs obviously will make it crazy here. Roosters Broncos. Roosters should be winning. That's at Suncorp though. Broncos do or die. If the Broncos do lose, then there's a chance the Rabbitohs could be trying to get and push Payne Haas to come prior to June 30. Doubt it, but it's a possibility. We've got massive Warriors-Dolphins game. That's the earliest game on Saturday. That'll be hard for you guys there in England. But a massive Warriors-Dolphins game. Second versus third. That's huge. Manly versus the Storm is absolutely gangbuster at Brookvale Oval on Saturday night. That's huge. Don't really give a shit about Raiders Dragons. Sorry, Nathan Annie. But you'd say the same thing about Titans Bulldogs if it wasn't for the fact that we're going to make it crazy here. So I put my hands up and admit that. We've also got Tigers Knights, which should be a belter. And we've got the Sharks in the bye, which is my favourite moment of the round. It's my favourite moment of the round, that. Oh, Eels here over the top. Adokar coming through. Oh, it's a knock on Eels. Oh, so close, but it's a knock on Eels. So close. What's the midday game on Saturday again? Cowboys Panthers. Yeah, couldn't care less. But I'd be scared if you're a Panthers fan. Cowboys fan, sorry. I'd be scared, but nobody cares really about that game because Panthers should win that game. They should come out with an absolute fire. Richard says need 13 plus Souths. Well, there's still plenty of time here, bro. 22 minutes. Oh, Sean Russell's come in here. Sean Russell's getting really risky, man. Like, I don't think it's intentional, but again, he's thrown his head into a very awkward position that's gone straight into the noggin of Jai Gray there. Brent says, here's the Walker stink we're waiting for. Well, they're winning now, so hopefully he doesn't. But Sean Russell's getting quite grubby here. Sharks probably still scammed the buy? Yeah, definitely. Well, we came into this stream and I didn't realise the scam was on the Rabbitohs rather than the Sharks. And it's like, well, no, Sharkies. You're the ones who are meant to be on the old Scamaruno right now. The old Scamaruno. Did we actually take the Rabbitohs off of scam, by the way? Off of fraud alert? The Rabbitohs, they had the buy last week. Did we? Did they? Oh, 48-6. Yeah, we did. When they won 48-6 over the Broncos, we took them off of scam. Not scam, sorry, they're on fraud. Jai Gray's going to come up for a HIA, so he won't come back until about 6 minutes to go. Adam Dewey was a beast before injury, so was Alex Twell. And that's huge inclusions there for the Tigers. Alex Twell and Adam Dewey, both fantastic. Sean has had 2 bad moments tonight, needs to settle down. Yeah, for sure. They're not going to call this a penalty or anything like that. You can easily argue against that being any form of deliberate action, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of mitigation. So it's not a penalty, it's just going to be a knock-on against Sean Russell. But I'm just noticing this was 2 incidents in the last 5 minutes. And Jai Gray is one of their best players too. So Rabbitohs now, first tackle, 13 metres away. Junior to Vita Tatola. Oh no, Rabbitohs. You're kidding. Knock on off the scrum. We've seen this multiple times tonight from both these teams. But Tatola comes on here for Jai Gray. The fullback, I'm assuming maybe Siegwald. Maybe Siegwald goes to the fullback whilst Jai Gray's gone. Probably the case. I'm looking for who the fullback is right now. They go to the left-hand side for the Eels. It is Latrell Siegwald. Josh Adokar, knock on from the Eels just as he's about to go over the line. Adokar will knock the ball on, but I have noticed Latrell Siegwald is playing in that fullback. That is a knock on. Grass McGrath, he's back in play here. Grass McGrath, he is the top of the Dally on leaderboard for sure. Absolutely guaranteed. Is Grassy McGrath in having a fantastic season. Everyone kept talking about James Tedesco or something last year, but we all knew the real winner was Grassy McGrath, and he's looking great again. He's looking absolutely fantastic again for another Dally M this year, Grassy. 20 minutes to go here of the game. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. Mark my words, I don't know what happened to the Rabbitohs last week. They disappointed. Oh, they disappeared. Yeah, they disappeared. That's usually what's going to happen against the bye, but they did get the win against the bye. They did, yeah. They did get the win against the bye, the Rabbits. Oh, that's going to be a knock on here from the Eels. Oh, Edward Cross is off the field, by the way, with an injury. He won't be back. Jai Gray has a chance to come back from a HIA, so that's going to be a knock on here from the Eels. It's just going to be a scrum here for the Rabbits. So Latrell Siegwald is playing fullback for the Bunnies. Who is playing centre now, though? Have they got Ewan Aiken maybe playing centre, or have they gone with like a... I don't know who John Rattle really is. And I don't really know too much about Dane Jennings either. Who is playing centre? Maybe Dane Jennings is on because of the injury. Maybe Dane Jennings is this centre due to the injury to Edward Corsi. Ryan says, phone's about to die, Blaze. Lovely dude, man. Appreciate you, Ryan. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Titans, Bulldogs, and then we got the big Broncos, Roosters right on after. Has to be Ewan Aiken. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think they're claiming... I think Dane Jennings. I can see Alex Johnson is a little bit inwards there, but what position does Dane Jennings play? Because Dane Jennings came on the field around the same time that Edward Corsi went out, but I'm not too sure anything about Dane Jennings. But Ewan Aiken originally I would have probably pictured to be that centre. Cody Walker. Here's Latrell Siegwald. Short ball through. Cameron Murray gets it off to Alex Johnson's foot, and then he's going to put this ball to about the 30 on... 6 again here for the Rabbitohs. Oh, no. Parramatta. Oh, no, it's 4 tackle. The tackle went off the screen for a second. Kalamatangi gets away. He's still pushing here. Kalamatangi offloads it to David Fafita. David Fafita pushes off of 1. He's still going. He's still moving. He's still grooving. He'll be 25 metres away from the line. Fit tackle. Can't get the offload away. Silly Sausage went Bunnies. Yeah, I went Bunnies as well. Even though that's 6 again here for the Rabbitohs. Oh, Parramatta, I can't deal with you. Ashen Ward's through the line here. Ashen Ward's through the line. He's going to be 10 metres out. First tackle. I can't deal with you right now, Parramatta. I can't deal with you right now. They go to the left. It's Cody Walker. Oh, he couldn't get the pass away quick enough there. Latrell Siegwald couldn't get the pass away quick enough. Brandon Smith, he deserves a try. He's been good. He deserves a try, but it's going to be 3rd tackle for South Sydney, 1 metre out. Oh, Moses, get up. Mark my words says, remember when Rabbits were down by 36 points against the Raiders and almost won? They were not down 36-0, man. But they did okay, but at the end of the day, they still lost that game. Like, what are we talking about? We're talking about a game that they lost, but they also were not down 36-0. Kalamatangi He'll be at the 5. I swear it was like 36-18 or something, or 36-12, which is still a good comeback, but at the end of the day, they lost. So what are we talking about? They go to the left. Oh, too easy for Cody Walker. The show and go, baby. The show and go. A little bit sneaky, a little bit squeaky, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Cody Walker with the double, though. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, son. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Try time. Cody Walker. He's had one of the games where he's actually mentally stayed put throughout it. That's game. That's definitely game there. And the 13 plus, Richard. Looking forward to the 10%. 13 plus. Seb Watson says, I know what this is going to be. 13 errors to 9. 27 missed tackles to 23. Para, 69% completion rate. What a game. Yeah, look, the old Parramatta, it's a little bit of a struggle right now. Little bit of a struggle. Actually, Jess, what did you end up getting on with the Rabbitohs? 'Cause I swear you said you were getting on the Rabbitohs with like points or something. Have you got over 26.5 or over 28.5? I'm sure that's probably what it would have been. Maybe 30.5, but probably more so the 26.5. Maybe more so the 28.5, actually. I'm not sure. Preseason Premiers said. Preseason Premiers said, yes. Yes. Well, if the Titans win tomorrow, they will go above the Eels. And if the Raiders beat the Dragons, they will go above the Eels as well. The Eels have a chance to go into second last this week. Second last. I can see this as a common trajectory at the moment, Brenton. Well, the Rabbitohs 26-12. Don't forget, guys, we'll be live for Australia versus Paraguay tomorrow, about midday for you. It'll be 11:30 a.m. for you because we'll be live half an hour beforehand. But we will be up bright and early as well, for me anyway. Japan versus Sweden. Because Japanese, they're proving my underdog status right at the moment. I said before the World Cup they're going to be the spicy packages, and they have a great chance. Great chance to really slap it down. But Netherlands do play Tunisia. Hold on, Earth, what's that? Oh, the door opened out there. Sorry, guys, I'm going to quickly close this door. There must be a bit of wind around here in Da Nang. Thumbs up, subscribe. We're back in one moment. Alright, we're back. We're back. Sorry, the door for some reason randomly opened out there, and I heard something bang. Oh, knock on from Cody Walker. Knock on from Cody Walker. And the Eels will get a chance to hit back. Jess with the £5 donation says, I took 23.5. Thought it was up when you said penalty try. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, well, it should have happened. It should have been either way they got it. Either way they got it. Thank you very much for the £5 donation, Jess. Jack says, I have a free £10 bet. I chose Brazil to win by 3 or more. Vinicius to score any time and Rabbits to win by 6 or more. Looking good for a free £50 so far. Looking forward to the £5 donation, Jack. But good win. Good win. Parramatta are a dark horse for the analytical premiership. Analytically ass. So they're going to go to the left-hand side, and Isaiah Yongi's going to be at the 18. It's going to be a penalty here to Parramatta for an offside against the Rabbitohs. Well, why is that not just a 6 again? Why have we called a penalty for offside there? It's 20 metres out from the line. Go over the 2, Mitchell Moses. You won't. You won't. 20 metres away. Come on, Titans. Get a win. It'd be massive. Go above the Parramatta Squeals. The team we beat by 50 already this year. Come on. And we get out of the bottom 4 as well. With a win, the Titans will jump out of the bottom 4. That'd be nice. It's not free when you have to pay 10%. That's a fantastic point, really. Second tackle for the Eels. They'll be 10 metres out. Second tackle, Talon to Silva. He'll go out to Mitchell Moses. Moses now at the back 2. Run on Volkman. Volkman to Kelma Tuolangi. Kelma Tuolangi. No, it's Kitiona Kautonga. They're 5 metres out from the line. So it wouldn't be 3 wins in a row, mark my words, because they did lose to the Tigers. They would have to. Tomorrow would be 2 wins in a row. Talon Silva, Mitchell Moses at the back. Here we go. Isaiah Yongi. That's going to be intercepted by Alex Johnson. I can't believe the Eels didn't at least just touch that ball. All they had to do was touch the ball and it would have been a knock on. Is the Australia footy game before the rugby stream tomorrow? Yes. Yeah. The rugby league starts up at 3 p.m. my time. And the football match starts up at 12 p.m. No, 9 a.m. my time. So, yeah, well before it. So, the Rabbitohs, yeah, as Seb says, the Australia vs Paraguay game is at 3 a.m. for you guys. It's the last game of the day. Fit tackle. Fit tackle for the Rabbits. And they go to Ashton Ward, and Ward's going to kick this ball down to the corner. Bulldogs putting Critter at 6 is so diabolical. I think it is too, because it doesn't make sense to mine. Like, we've seen Critter play the 6 before, and he's been awful. Like, watch him go kill it tomorrow. But we've seen Crichton play 6 for Samoa. We've seen him play 6 for the Bulldogs before, and it's just been absolutely dreadful. So I'm surprised that they've gone with it. But at the end of the day, they're just trying something else out. Dry Grey passes HIS. He'll be back today. Best just stay up and get some hydration in this evening. Well, it is the last game of the day, right? So you'll have Japan versus Sweden, which will be on at about 12 a.m. your time. And you'll also have the earlier games. Actually, I don't think there's really too many important games in that other group, is there? Fit tackle now for the Eels, and they'll be at the 40. We are kind of talking a little bit more about FIFA World Cup right now, guys, because this is a blowout as it currently stands. But if the Eels can score now, they just need to score twice in the last 12 minutes, but the Rabbitohs will get it. Dane Jennings, and he'll be at the 5 on first tackle. So what is the other games? So the first lot is Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, Curaçao. No, it's not that interesting. Ivory Coast will come second. Germany will come first. Ecuador have been so disappointed this World Cup. So disappointing. And then the other one's Tunisia, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden. I've got Cody Gakpo captained in Cody Gakpo captained in the old fantasy, because I think they'll just kill Tunisia. Tunisia, I don't even know why they turned up at this World Cup, especially considering they sacked their manager after only 5 months at the helm. The Eels will grab this ball at 20, and they'll take it out now to the 30 on first tackle. But no, plenty of hydration, nation. Plenty of hydration, nation needed tonight. I reckon we need to bring this into the Premier League. What do you reckon, Jess? Seb, what are you thinking? And knock on from the Eels. Brilliant. Rabbitohs now. They're going to be at the 30. Brilliant. 0 tackle now for the Rabbitohs at the 30. Brilliant stuff. Hey, Premier League fans, I reckon... Oh, no, sorry, it's first tackle. Premier League fans, I think it's fine. We bring the hydration breaks in every 10 minutes in the Premier League. I know, Blake. I'm killing it, aren't I? I'm bloody absolutely slaughtering it. Just absolutely no-braining it, mate. Seb says, I think, fuck off. Yeah, look, fair enough too. I don't mind that thought process. I'd probably say the same thing in your position, and I'm saying the same thing to me right now too. I reckon hydration break every 10 minutes. How about that? That 5 minutes was fast. What 5 minutes was fast? My brain's not braining. What are you referring to? Tavia Totola is now going to be at the 10 on 4 tackle. 10 minutes to go here, folks. Thumbs up and subscribe. Tomorrow we'll have Titans Bulldogs. We'll also have Broncos Roosters. We'll also have Australia Paraguay. And we'll also have Japan versus Sweden. Best game tomorrow, Sweden versus Japan. Japan should slap them. They should. Sweden aren't that great. Oh, drop ball from the Rabbitohs. Probably going to be a knock-on. Is going to be a knock-on. That will be a knock-on here. Otherwise, we would have seen a Rabbitohs try. I don't know what you mean by the 5 minutes went by fast, though. Be on the blue Curaçao's cocktail. Jeremy. No, mate. He was saying that to me. No. Because I suggested the hydration breaks for the Premier League. He was telling me to fuck off, man. But if you want to add him in, you can. Eels at the 40. And they go to the right. And there's a knock-on from Jordan Samrani. And the Rabbitohs now. Ewan Aiken. Good run. 0 tackle at the 30. 0 tackle. Do I watch State of Origin? Yes, mate. Yes, mate. I don't miss a single game of rugby league. I've watched every game of rugby league for many, many a year now. No, I shouldn't say that. There was a couple of games when I was in India that... I still watched them, though. I just wasn't streaming for it. But this year, I've not missed a single game of rugby league this year. We've streamed every single game. We will still... We had like 50,000 people come through. Rabbitohs, that's going to come out the back at the 18 on third tackle. Last year, we had 100,000 people come through all three games. YouTube this year decided to not send the gangbusters, but still we had about 50k. Underneath to Lachlan Hubner. Hubner now at the 10 on fourth tackle. This chat's lost the plot. It's lost the plot, mate. Haven't missed a game all year, and I'm getting asked if I watch State of Origin. I'm sitting here as a Titans fan watching Rabbitohs versus Eels, and you think I don't do State of Origin? You think I'm going to, as a Titans fan, I'm going to sit here and watch the Rabbitohs play Parramatta on a live stream, but I'm not going to stream Queensland smashing New South Wales? Are we serious? What are we doing? I know it's just a question, by the way. We're not actually having a cracker here. Kate says, my Cowboys are going good. No, we're not doing this. 7.5 minutes to go here. We're not doing this. No one are going to beat them this year. Hi, Kane. Would you like me to rattle off teams that have beaten the Cowboys this year? What do you mean nobody's going to beat them this year? Your Cowboys are going great, are they? Well then, why are they currently situated in 9th when they're in top 4 for the most part of the first half of the year? And whilst we're speaking about it, well, they also lost by 18 points to the Warriors. They also lost by 26 points to the Dolphins and 14 points to the Raiders, who are currently in second last. So I'm going to have to debate you on this one, mate, and say... your hometown's not going as great as you'd reckon. But at the very least, they're doing better than what people expected from them pre-season. There we go. Had to pop my ears. Jeremy, take it as you like. Like it says, what is State of Origin? Yeah, as a New South Wales fan, I know you don't want to know about it. Fourth tackle out to 45. The Rabbitohs on the field. Jai Gray's about to come back on. Mark says, Dragons the best team this year. Wink, wink. There's definitely plenty of winks going on there. Have we got another Dragons fan that's joined the channel? God help us. Annie and Nath, you're taking over. Penalty coming up here for the Eels with 6 minutes to go here in the game. Penalty coming up to the Parramatta Eels. Penalty coming up here. They're going to challenge it. To be fair, he doesn't push him. He shadows the ball, but he doesn't push him. Oh, but it's Ashton Ward, what a defensive half. He definitely took notes from Jamie Humphries. So they're going to challenge this here, the Rabbitohs. I don't think he shoves him over. I just think he shadows the ball, and Brian Kelly takes a bit of a... Oh, maybe not. That right shoulder does push down. And he does put his arm out. So, yeah, he stops running shoulder to shoulder. It's a penalty. It's a correct call. Jody Sam says, thanks for your podcast. By the how many tries have been scored so far? Good night from Papua New Guinea. We appreciate you guys in Papua New Guinea. We've got a large Papua New Guinean audience. Appreciate all you guys watching from over there. Looking forward to when you guys come into the competition in 2028 with the Chiefs. How many tries have been scored so far? Probably about 6. Let me get it for you. I think about 6. Well, 7. Cody Walker, Ewan Aiken, Edward Cosey, Talis Duncan, Cody Walker, Brian Kelly, Talon De Silva. So 7 tries have been scored in this game. AI bots, Dragons fans now. Yeah, they're all AI. For sure. There's a lot of beat bop going on here in the chat. Beat bop central. Volkman off to Kitiona Kaltonga. He'll get the offload away again. De Silva and Walker is going to be taken down here at the 5 on 4 tackle. Got a lot of BKRsport podcast. Logan. Technically, we are a live podcast. Alex Johnson off to Cameron Murray. They're away. Here the Rabbitohs. They're away. Here the Rabbitohs. They're away. The 30, the 35, the 40. He's still going. Cameron Murray still going to 50. The 45, the 40, the 35, the 30. Go, Cameron, you big dog. Taken down to the 20 on first tackle. Rabbitohs, if you pass it out wide, your 13 plus hits there, Richard. They go to the right. Cody Walker, Ashton Ward, Dave Fafita. Quick passing. See you later. Sayonara. Good night, Irene. Talis Duncan for a try time. And the Rabbitohs will lead 30 points to 12 with a kick to come. See ya later, alligator. You've been slapped. You've been slapped. Short time for the Rabbits. Jeremy says, I like a cheeky Kyle Felt signing mid-season for the Cows. Okay. And Brenton says, second intercept on that side of the field. Yep, there has been a couple. But we've also seen an intercept from Edward Cosey on the right-hand side too. Having eel fingers for dinner? Well, that doesn't make sense. The Gold Coast says, what do you think of the NRL bye having more wins than the Dragons? It makes a lot of sense, really. Makes a lot of sense, really. Olivia's pissed. Yeah, Olivia wouldn't be happy. She wouldn't be too happy, the old Olivia. But then again, she's got bigger things to focus on right now, and that is getting a six-pack, and also the Broncos being the Brisbane Broncos. Tallis Duncan goes over. That's his double, isn't it? I think that's a double for him. Yeah, it is. That is a double for Tallis Duncan. Thanks, mate. Go Chiefs. Good luck. I'm looking forward to the Chiefs. I'm telling you right now, guys, our streams for Papua New Guinea games will be insane. I'm telling you, like you'll see the level of our Papua New Guinea support on the channel when Papua New Guinea play at the end of the year. If you don't know, probably about a 50% proportion of our viewership, 40 to 50%, is Papua New Guinean. So, and that goes across the channel right now. And then we've got obviously the majority Australia, then Kiwi games is just heavily Kiwi. But the Papua New Guineans really support this channel, and they really support Rugby League. I promise you'll see how many viewership. Like we, a couple of years ago in the World Cup, had, I think, like 800 at 3 a.m. watching. It was like 800 to 1,000 people watching live Papua New Guinea in the World Cup when it was in England. They'll get the kick, and it's going to be 32 to 12 here with 3.5 minutes to go. I could only imagine what it's going to be this time. Like, they really get around the channel. So when they get an NRL team in each week, it's going to be full on. Eels never letting anyone down, just reliable as shit, says. Mama says, next team, the American Eagles. No, there was genuinely people on Instagram making an argument that we should bring in a Bali team. A Bali team. I'm just saying that. Davis is watching Papua New Guinea also. Get around you, David. Oh, the Alex Johnson's away here with the Rabbitohs. Alex Johnson's away to 40 to 45. Gets it across. They're away. That's Jaden Sullivan. He'll be at the 30. 3 minutes to go. Oh, no. There's still plenty of time here for South Sydney. There's still plenty of time for them to keep on scoring more. Now go out to the left to Latrell Seagwalt. And Seagwalt's going to be the 18. Second tackle. Hey, Parramatta. Your defense is now the worst defense in the game. You were only down by 16 when the Dragons coming into this. You don't want to give an extra chance here. They go to the right, off to Ashton Ward, and Ashton Ward's at the 5. There's a high tackle. There's a penalty. Weeks Clip says, bring in 10 Bali teams over the Eels right now. Get rid of them already. Who's paying for this joke still? Bring in 10 Bali teams over this joke, he reckons. Look, it's an argument to be made, mate. I shouldn't really be talking as a Titans fan over the last 15 years, but with that being said, it's not like they've been really... They had a really good stint between 2019 and 2023, 2022. I think it's 2019 and 2022. Outside of those 4 seasons and the 3 years, you make a very solid discussion and argument. Worst defense all of 26. What a joke. Eels, come on. Yeah, it is. Worse than the Dragons. Again, but before this game started, the Eels had given up 433 points. The Dragons 449. So it was 16 points. It's now 32 points against the Eels, which means they are below the Dragons by 16. But then again, the Dragons play the Raiders. So then again, the Raiders aren't that spectacular. So Dragons, if you can keep yourselves to less than... Well, it might even be 22 any moment now if the Rabbitohs score right now. Third tackle, 3 minutes out. Jaden Sullivan. They give it to Humphreys. Cameron Murray. 5 minutes out of the line, 4 tackle. Jamie Humphreys, quick pass to Tavita Totola. And Tavita Totola is going to be 3 minutes out, 5th tackle. And they'll give it out to Sullivan, Jai Gray. And I'm pretty certain the score is just going to stay like this. 5th tackle, switch over. The Cowboys won against the Panthers here in Mackay pre-season 66 to 14. Okay. So, Kane, I'm going to hurt your feelings here, mate. The pre-season means jack shit. And just to emphasize that, the Parramatta Eels won the fucking pre-season. This Parramatta Eels team that you have watched today and you have watched this season, they won the pre-season. The Panthers played 0 of their starting 19. The Cowboys played pretty much their full-strength roster. Let's not go crazy in regards to a pre-season matchup where the Panthers didn't play a single player in their starting 19 in that game. Not a single one. That's going to be a knock-on here from the Eels. The Rabbitohs are going to get this ball here at the 10. Knock on Parramatta. 26 seconds to go here. And again, this Parramatta Eels team that you are watching right now won the preseason. Says Kane, who cares? Again, a reminder, the Cowboys played a full-strength roster. That was the Panthers' first preseason game, and that was the Cowboys' second preseason game, but also what was it? There was a reason. Yeah, that's right. The Cowboys were playing... Oh, no, I can't remember. The Panthers just didn't play their full-strength team at all. They didn't play anybody. Can't remember. There was a reason behind it, but the Cowboys played a full-strength. The Panthers played nobody. With that being said, there's no excuses to concede 66 even as professional players regardless, but still, who cares? This Eels team won the preseason, but I can tell you what, they're not winning this game. 32-12 is the final score here. The Rabbitohs will win it, and that will put them 20 points differential better as well. So they'll go from plus 86 to plus 106. They'll go 22 points. They'll be in fourth position for the time being. Now, the Roosters can jump above them still. The Knights can jump above them still. And also, Manly can jump above them still. Manly play the Storm. Knights play the Tigers. Roosters play the Broncos. Roosters, Broncos tomorrow. Manly, Storm Saturday. And Knights, Tigers on Sunday. So the Sharks... they will go back below the Rabbitohs. So the highest that the Sharks can finish this round now is... Well, actually, they're in fourth right... They're in fifth right now. No, they're in fourth. No, they are in fifth right now. Yeah, because their bye puts them above the Newcastle Knights, but because... No, they're actually in sixth right now. Yeah, no, they would be in sixth right now because the Rabbitohs have actually got up into the top four. Knights, you're actually currently live in seventh position. Currently live, you're in seventh position based off of what's happened today, plus the bye for the Sharks. So you need to go and beat the Tigers. But all right, guys, that's going to do us here for today. I'll be live again tomorrow for 4 games. Japan versus Sweden, Australia versus Paraguay, Titans, Bulldogs. You may not think it's exciting, but I'm telling you, I'll make it exciting. And then the Roosters versus the Broncos. So do me a favor, obviously go and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as per usual, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.